Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the action. That's right, the only action I could be talking about. It's Paladins, it's esports. We're here on a Sunday, and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Evan Rayner, otherwise known as Rain Day, and this is Nick Keogh. Hi, Res Pretty Hair. We'll be casting with you today, and we've got so much good action happening now, but we've also got some great action that's happened yesterday.
Yep, so we're going to go to the EU standings here and talk a little bit about where everybody is ending up because they have played all their games. You can see 50 Shades of Sneck almost perfect there with 360 points. Just one second place finish to their name. D69 second with 280. WASD with 160. And then the tie here at the fourth place spot between Burrito and Flashpoint. But because of the head-to-head record between those two teams, Flashpoint will be moving on despite having the same amount of points as Burrito.
Yes, and that is very important to remember. Every time you play a game against somebody, as you get down to the wire, those games matter more and more as deciding opportunities. Let's take a look at North America, though, and see exactly where everyone who's playing today stands before they get into battle. It will be Odin's Chosen with a guaranteed first place finish here today. Denial guaranteeing them second place as well with 170 points. Impact, Dare, Woogly, Swarm. I mean, they've all got opportunities. Of course, when we see the bracket, you'll see whether some of those teams are in or out, but it is a very tight race for third and fourth.
Yeah, the big thing here is Swarm. After their performance last week, they still have a lot of room to cover, but they've shown they have the potential to really contest even those top two teams. So if they are able to come in third place today, at the least, they will qualify as the fourth seed.
You're just trying to get in because, of course, what happens next after this is a round-robin qualifier where four teams, they're going to be put against each other over a course of weeks and see who comes out in the top two to represent their side of the region heading to Spain. Wow. That is DreamHack Valencia. And so it will be Swarm heading over Impact this weekend in terms of getting to the semifinals. Will they be able to get some points off of Denial, the second seed? Known players in that roster, Bitey, Stolzy, Prince, Danny TV adjusting. Maybe a little bit of opportunity there for them to steal their spot in this upcoming qualifier.
Odin's Chosen, Denial are already locked in as the 1 and 2. The big thing here is Dare Rising and Swarm. If Swarm can make it to the finals, if Dare Rising can make it to the finals, both of them will be that much closer to locking in their spots here. But Swarm just need to come in third place, assuming Dare Rising are in that third place match. If Dare Rising make it to the finals and Swarm don't, then that will probably it. That's the dust settled right then and there. But first things up first will be Odin's Chosen versus Dare Rising. Map number 1. Frog Isle.
Well, Frog Isle is a great map. These experienced teams, they love to push it quickly and be able to finish these things off within 6 minutes, sometimes we've often seen. And so Dare Rising, they've got to be careful that they don't let this one slip out of their hands. This is a set they need to do well with. But I'm worried. I'm worried here because Astral Authority, formerly Astral Authority, now Odin's Chosen, have just been really, really good at not dropping the ball either. And winning fast, not dropping the ball. They don't let their foot off the gas. Dare Rising have a big task ahead of them.
Yeah, the big thing here as we get into the champion draft is they can try to take this game, but even if they don't, kind of just let it roll off their back here. This is exactly the map that Odin's Chosen wanted to be on. So this is where they're feeling the most confident, where they want to kick things off in this set. They're the higher seed. They're going to get the first map pick. So don't get discouraged, if it goes their way a little bit.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a veteran move here. As we start things off, Inara has been the first pick going into EU. And let's break this down just a little bit as well.
A lot, oftentimes first.
You're right, but I think we saw her as a staple. And one thing that I do want to comment on for the viewers and for you as well to kind of elaborate on for us, there's a lot of times a very distinct meta between what Europe shows on Saturday and what NA decided to do on Sunday.
Whatever NA feels like doing on that given Sunday.
Yes.
So yeah, Inara's kind of strong either way, any map. Bright Marsh definitely makes her more strong, and Earthen Guard, Mother's Grace makes her strong everywhere else. It's just about how much stronger she's going to be given the map. She can kind of contend on any of the maps. Frog Isle is probably the most open. There are not very many spots where you can impact a fight, control a fight with that wall, but still strong enough just with the Mother's Grace. But, we've seen all kinds of first picks over in North America. Androxus kind of had his heyday last week. I think he was probably most often first picked, despite Inara being very strong. And then we started to kind of see things. Androxus is taken to dissuade Drogos yesterday so they could get Inara later. There's like all kinds of mind games going on with Europe. And some of the best drafters, some of the best draft minds, Bird, over on 50 Shades of Snick.
Absolutely. These guys know exactly what they're doing. And, 50 Shades, D69, they have that meta between themselves to where they are now not just doing the typical thing, they're playing the mind games with each other because they all know the tried and true methods to beat the top tier lineup. So now it's up to Dare Rising to force that type of situation onto Odin's Chosen. A lot of ways I think we see these teams from a lower perspective try to climb their way back up against the big boys is actually making a certain pick or making a certain player have a standout performance. That starts to switch things up because it makes Odin's Chosen say, should we deny the Pip, the Grover? This is just killing us. I don't know what we need to do to this. It's not something we usually see. That's where I think Dare Rising should go with their draft.
Odin's Chosen with the first pick. How highly prioritized is Ruckus going to be this weekend? Because after what Bitey did with it in the previous weekend in ESL, probably looking a little bit more attractive to all these other North American teams. This new play style starting to kind of come into prioritization. First pick, though, we are hearing is going to be Drogos, despite it not showing up there on Odin's Chosen. So Dare Rising going to respond with the Androxus Ceres. First pick Drogos, though, it leaves you pretty wide open to be countered. And
that is very interesting, too. I mean, Odin's Chosen, they're always ones to experiment and just throw a little bit of extra spice, in a lemon custard. It's like, a cayenne doesn't go in that, but they make it work. It tastes great at the end of the day when they serve it, and they've been doing things that have thrown the pick order off tremendously. A lot of people expecting an Inara, a Ruckus, but look, it's a Drogos coming out here, and in fact, we're going to go straight into game to get the action started. Thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast. We started a little hour late than usual, but we're ready to go right now. It is going to be Odin's Chosen versus Dare Rising. Aerial Assault Ruckus, played by Doseps. Totemic Ward Grok by Cusscutie. And they picked up Combustible Drogos by Evil Eye, maybe thinking he's really strong right now. Reprieve Eevee for Eyedrop Body, who's back in business. Architectonics for War Doom and his Barrack.
Dark Rider will have more to reach for. Ceres, Jake B on Exaction, and Cassie, William 355, Mother's Grace, Inara Protection with a recurve, Shaolin, and Invocal with Dark Stalker and Droxus. Picks up the Cauterize as well, Protection with the Wrecker. Jake B does go for the Chronos, morale boost for Dark Rider, Ceres, and Evil Eye. Following suit in terms of his Drogos, Combustible, that seems like, when you talk about one player wanting to have a standout performance, even though Drogos is fairly counterable, I think people are realizing if they just position properly, morale boost, Combustible, just sit back and fire spit, there's not a lot of ways to counter that particular play style for Drogos.
Immediately, Dosep steps onto the objective, looking to find some damage out for his team. He's Ruckus, and he's really the only person who's going to be providing something other than a AoE projectile to damage the enemies of Dare Rising. But so far, getting focused down, and Jake being Protection, having a field day here, picking up 2 kills and putting Dare Rising in a great spot.
A lot of punishment here, not a lot of ways to heal. Grok is just one man. A lot of times, we were seeing teams pick up Totemic Ward just for the CC immunity because, the throughput for Grok just isn't enough. Odin's Chosen do have the 2 frontliners, but regardless, Grok Totem is a very long cooldown. If Dare Rising focus it out, that is all the sustain gone. It's maybe like having your healer even dead.
And that direct damage, like we mentioned, only coming from Doseps, maybe showing up in these fights. Cusscutie is going to provide it with the Lightning Beam, so he, running that Totemic Grok without the Maelstrom, is going to have to really carry his weight in assisting on the damage numbers. Right now, though, Evil Eye, if they can get him going, that could change it all. Combustible already getting his ultimate to 92%. Going to be the first person to use it in this fight, aside from Cusscutie, who's on the Grok, so this could be a very dangerous time for Dare Rising.
Just unfortunate there that Jake B did fall, and that may have been enough to swing the momentum in Odin's Chosen favor. It felt like they were losing that team fight rather hard the entire time, but despite all that, 99% on the point, they're actually going to sneak away the payload. Inara just too slow to get there in time.
No mobility except on that horse to begin with, and so she is stuck. And last place does not get the objective for her team, and Dare Rising, although good start, don't come away with anything for their efforts. Cusscutie on the right side gets a nice healing totem for Evil Eye to stay healthy, and that salvo that he puts out afterwards gets a lot of damage.
Double kill. Evil Eye will go down, though. 2 for 1 thus far. Bodies in the back line, trying to stir up a little bit of a ruckus here, forcing out one. Actually does clean up the kill on a Protection. War Doom riding dirty on the payload. Both turrets set up and ready to go. 87% on this Dome Shield as well, so carrying momentum in and around this final corner is going to be a very good look for Odin's Chosen, as they have what they need to punch it through.
How well do these teams deal with War Doom? He's notorious for not dying very often. He's even going to escape from that convergence. Evil Eye and Cusscutie will fall, but yet again, the stay-at-home dad Barrack will escape with his life. Doseps decides to go on the offense. offensive, almost lane protections, but he does not have enough protections to survive the onslaught that Shaolin brings to him. Reset right there on the push.
4 streak going to get set up here. Look for the angles to hold from Jake B. Just not wanting to get too aggressive with his zone. And Frog Owl doesn't allow for you to really get super aggressive with his zone. There's not a whole lot of places to retreat to. This is about as far out as they can go and still feel safe. Big rocket there. Onto Invocal. Going to force him back for the time being. Body's very low and dropping fairly often, not getting a whole lot done in the way of frags in the back line.
And that's what Drogoz can do. I mean, the fact is, Bodies and Drogoz, they hit so hard. When they get one shot, it could change the entire momentum of a fight. Wardoom still alive here on a 2 streak.
Great totem placement.
And a good totem there. You're right, getting a lot of value for that. 3 big health frontliners taking the most of that. And here's a Tempest to add on top of it. Cuss Cutie speeding up his frontliners, and they're really ready to get this push going.
Making a lot of use of all of these Grok's cooldowns as well. The Annular wall will go up, but how long can it hold? How much can it really do here? Dosups cleans up Jake B. Body's in the back line. He's going to heal up to full. Still a lot of distraction value. Invocal completely out of this fight. He comes back in just to get quadra killed somehow. A massive fire spurt from Evil. I don't think even he planned to get that many frags with that.
I mean, you would think that
it all happened so fast.
If you're just sitting here watching, that was an ultimate, but that was just a right click and a left click, and it did all that. This man with combustible Drogoz is definitely carrying his weight in damage. So, hey, if you only got Ruckus to add the direct damage, that may be all you need.
Stars aligning there for Evil Eye. Gets his ultimate charged up to boot. So Hexafire almost ready to go. Odin's Chosen only have to sacrifice the Grok Tempest to get that ultimate basically pushed through there. And that is a very low cost to pay for this conversion. Exactly what Odin's Chosen were hoping for here. This composition probably going to fall off a little bit harder than Dare Risings will into the late game.
You know, Nick, the big thing we haven't mentioned here is Cuss Cutie's back on the healer role. He was playing damage for the last while in this qualifier and really switched roles. Now iDrop Body's back. He's in the Totemic Ward Grok, and he's helping his team to really make those great decisions. That Tempest was key to pushing it. A nice combustible. The damage over time will seal the deal, and this will again put Odin's Chosen in control at this point.
I mean, iDrop Body's base, that was already going to be a good fight for Odin's Chosen, as Anara was basically dead to rights as Evil Eye found the Dragon Punch, but on top of that, just to add insult to injury, opening the fight with the frag onto Saris there, iDrop Bodies makes that an incredibly easy win for Odin's Chosen.
Evil Eye, one of the best Drogoses in the business. Invocal had one of the better performances we saw a little bit a while ago while we were watching him first get a Penta and a Quadra kill in the same game on Bright Marsh, but now just seems lost and cannot find his way. The entire team of Dare Rising not able to stall any momentum from Odin's Chosen. It's 3-0, and it's only 6 minutes.
More great totem placement allows Cuss Cutie to kind of bruise on the front line here. Doesn't have the Maelstrom legendary, so he's going to be hard-pressed to land any more shock pulses. This is just to heal his team up. There's not a whole lot of offensive value in Grok ultimate, and solo convergence onto Bodies will find the kill, but was it worth it?
Granara knocked off with the combustible Drogoz. The Get Wrecked spray from Cuss Cutie sends the message, and Evil Eye will add on top of that. They just cannot shut down this dragon in the sky. And despite Invocal having some great performances on Androxus, and that being the counter of the meta right now, they just don't have an answer, and especially no answer for this Dragon Punch. It could be the end of the game. Seismic Crash trying to finish it off, but this payload looks like it will go to Odin's Chosen, and so will the game.
Too much damage, too much momentum there. Wardoom really didn't even have to do any Wardoom things because his team was always just setting him up so much space. He just basically rode through on the payload that whole time. And just watching that, that makes Odin's Chosen so difficult to draft against. I mean, they just ran Grok solo healer.
Yes.
And didn't even really use Totemic Ward for the CC immunity. They were just using it almost the way they run Mega Potion Pip, just to heal up 2 tanks.
And this is where you say, what do these picks do for me? Why do I take the first pick Drogoz? I think the stats, they don't lie. 54,000 damage on the side of Evil Eye there. We asked, well, where's your direct damage? You know, Dosups and Wardoom able to contribute more than Shaolin and nearly Jake B on Cassie as tanks. So they felt very comfortable that Drogoz was the key to this victory.
Absolutely. First picked, prioritized, and you know, Body's clearly knocking some rust off here. 5 and 7, only negative slash line on his team. Less than 1,000 credits, 24,000 damage. Bottom in the entire game outside of Dark Rider's Saris. So that type of, I mean, he started to hit his stride. He started to get a couple frags later in the game, but frankly, in that first round, didn't do anything for me really. Just a couple, just maybe some distraction value in the back line. But even still, the difference here is the Drogos and the difference in the play style of the Drogos, because already a pretty tough character to counter, but if he's not putting himself out there to be picked off, that's really what's happening for me anyway. The play style change we've seen in the past couple days is making Drogo so much more value because he's so hard to get picked.
Yeah, I know. I love it. And I think you sometimes see EU take things from NA take things from EU. This seems to be the morale boost going heavy into the Drogos, first starting off with the combustible. I mean, this has been meta if I've ever heard the word, and it's been working extremely well for every team that's tried to utilize it thus far. Map number 2 coming up right now, and it's going to be Jaguar Falls, where they'll be taking their talents. And this is another map that we see very similar in the second map kind of rotation. You usually see a Bright Marsh, a Jaguar, Frog Isle, Jaguar.
Yeah, guaranteed somewhere in the first 3.
Yeah.
And again, tankiness is almost the key here a lot of times, but Drogos on the field has kind of been taking that role out.
Yeah.
He's the main counter to that, and people are just trying to figure out where they want. What are they prioritizing? Are they going to try and get this tankiness, or are they going to try to take the Drogos into turret? Can we take Androxus and deter Drogos far enough? It's like, personally, playing against Odin's Chosen, I don't know if taking away from them is going to work for you. I think you got to focus on what do we want? How do we get what we want? How do we execute our strategy? We don't have enough. There's not enough picks. There's not enough bans to take enough away from Odin's Chosen to meaningfully impact their strategy in a negative way.
I do agree with that. I mean, that's what my initial thought was kind of about. That, like, it's not really about what Odin's Chosen are doing. I want to see Dare Rising throw a wrench into Odin's Chosen's plan. Now, that's going to be hard to do. They're very flexible in their decisions that they can make for champion selections, but it doesn't mean Dare Rising can't rise right back up and make some interesting selections of their own. The Ceres Androxus seem to be prioritized. It will be the Inara Androxus here on Jaguar Falls.
So keeping things pretty much the same, and it's not like Dare Rising had a bad comp last time. It's not as if Androxus still isn't the best answer to get to the Drogos in the backline. It's just the way the play styles are right now. It's making it much harder. Now, the first switch up coming through here, Ceres for Odin's Chosen. Cassie still likely for Jake B over on Dare Rising and Ruckus. So a couple little key switch ups here.
I wonder if we will see protection on Dare Rising on a Buck. He loves that champion, and he's been very well known in the community for that champion. Making his adjustment here into the pro scene,
they need Maldamba.
It's important that they now get a healer, so I'm really interested to see how he transitions away from those kind of mainstay champions you really know a player by.
Yeah, so he'll probably be on Ruckus this time, I would imagine. Tyra Shaolin taken for Odin's Chosen. This will be interesting to see. So maybe we'll have, I mean, I know normally it's Doseps on the Tyra. Doseps or Cuskute. It's got to be one of them two. Shaolin has got to go to either Evil Eye or maybe Doseps as well. It's not a whole lot of variety there. Will be Doseps, in fact, and Bodies will be on the Shaolin today with a recurve combustible for Evil Eye's Drogos. Cuscute's still sticking to the Ceres Architectonics for Wardoom's Barrack, and it is end up being a mercy kill for the time being, but I know Doseps can kind of go either way on that recurve for Bodies. Shaolin, combustible for Evil Eye's Drogos, and Mortal Reach for Cuscute's Ceres, rounding things out. Architectonics for Wardoom's Barrack.
For Dare Rising, it will be Ripened Gourd for Dark Rider on the Maldamba. William taking Mother's Grace and Nara. Jake B running Exaction Cassie for the second game in a row. Protection now on the Ruckus. Aerial Assault for him. And Dark Stalker and Androxus for Invocal. Both of these teams have shown that they've done a great job. And surprisingly enough, Bulldozer, it is taken, but it's not taken against Inara. It's taken by Inara to deal with those turrets of Wardooms that seem to be working so well for him thus far.
To see here, and hasn't been a big factor in the last game, but it's not his fault. He just didn't really need to be deleted right out of the gate. Jake B is taken down. Protection finds Doseps, and Mikal looking for the angle into the back line here, and Bodies will fall. Protection cleaning up Doseps as well. 2 for 1 in favor of Dare Rising.
This is scary. If you get a guy like Invocal who has the potential to play so well, and you let him live on a Jaguar Falls without enough, I think, attention, it could put an issue for somebody like iDropBodies who just isn't having the best of days thus far and maybe needs a little bit more time to warm up. But Doseps and iDropBodies answer the call that has been ringing aloud on this map, and they get a couple kills of their own.
Evil Eye putting out a ton of damage, sitting at 93% on his ultimate, already getting that topped off in charge. Just shows you how much work he is finding in every single one of these team fights. So Nara likely to be dead to rights. Ruckus needs to watch his back as well as they rotate back into this point, which which has already been captured north of 75% by Odin's Chosen.
But Jake B follows up, takes down Evil Eye, and gets the dragon out of the sky. She also locks down Wardoom with a wall that will force him to not retreat, but fight instead. Wardoom still alive somehow, tries to get healed up by Cutie, but it is too little, too late. And William will select that opportunity to go ahead and finish off the front liner.
2-for-1 here. Doseps tries to get it in there, tries to get down and dirty in the point, but just can't hang out that much longer. And it's actually going to go to Dare Rising here. Scout popped by Jake B as well to spot all the reinforcements coming in. Great stuff. Great bouncing back, great resilience from Dare Rising. This is what we talked about we needed to see from them. Game 1's probably going to be tough because Frog Isle is a very heavily favored map due to the momentum-based swings that we know Odin's Chosen can find and abuse, but they got to be able to come back, and looks like they've done just that.
You know, looking at a guy who hasn't had the best of performances, iDrop Bodies has definitely answered the call thus far, taking Invocal down once more and allowing him to have his team just having a man advantage as this push continues for Dare Rising, looking to get themselves even in this set. They are 1-0 behind, but now 1 up in this game on Jaguar Falls. 1 minute and 40 seconds left for them to push this payload.
Jake B getting frisky with Tyra up there, but gonna get stunned out. Seismic Crash does come through. Not a lot of follow-up coming through. Invocal, though, finds the angle there with his accursed arm for a triple kill on Odin's Chosen.
Can't stop this man. Can't take your eyes off him because he will hurt you. Invocal taken down yet again by iDrop Bodies, so a great showing for him. Maybe a bright light and a bit of darkness for Odin's Chosen on this map. William hasn't gone down in a while, and Jake B also finds himself on a 6 streak, 100% ready for the ult. Coming back into this fight. They've got plenty of time, though, Nick.
And after, you know, not the great performance he had last time, Bodies, frankly, for me, saving that round, finding a key pickup onto Invocal, as well as putting enough damage into the rest of the tanks that were trying to push that one in just to deter them. 50 seconds, though, and not a lot of room to give for Odin's Chosen.
Wardoom sitting on a comfortable 5 streak, setting up the turrets in case anyone wants to walk through or mount through on this path. It's going to dismount them with the shots of Architectonics being hit scan, and so that's going to allow him to further delay this push. But it is inevitable. They will be close to get it. They've got to find a pick. Both teams looking for an answer here. On the left-hand side, the Combustible will hit yet again. No one knocked off, but knocked down will be Jake B, the Cassie, out of this fight.
Another fire spit comes through. Invocal able to break line of sight with it, though, and stay alive for the time being. But frags continuing to go the way of Odin's Chosen. 15 seconds remain here. Protection goes down as well. That's probably going to be it for this round. I don't think they're going to have just the stopping power to be able to push through, especially not 3v5.
So much damage Evil Eye is bringing to this fight. If we do have a chance to see the damage charts, I would not be surprised if he was far and ahead of all of his teammates. But look, he's very close, keeping up with Doseps and Shaolin quite well. So a little bit of a surprise in how not as much damage I thought he was doing, but still very effective, important, decisive damage.
That needs to happen, though. After game 1, how much damage Evil Eye did kind of on his own, it's clear that he's going to be the biggest target for Dare Rising to be taken down, especially drafting a character like Androxus. They've got Ruckus as well, who was, you know, not afraid to get in Evil Eye's face. Jake B as well, putting in some key damage, top damage right now for Dare Rising. So that means Doseps and Bodies have to step up. Bodies in particular, having a good fight this game in particular, but not, I don't think, at the top of the hit list for Dare Rising after the performance in game number 1.
Cutie on his transition back into support for this weekend seems to be going well so far. He takes the left-hand corridor this time around, as that's where they lost a crucial member of their team in this early team fight last time. But Evil Eye content to stay around this corner, just avoid any immediate damage, and he will get the final kill on a protection. A Combustible mid-air rotating himself is going to help to set up another kill for iDrop Bodies. One more for Bodies, and Doseps gets another.
Yeah, in my opinion, you know, they have Evil Eye in a bad spot there, but after losing one to the Dragon Punch, they take what I think is the correct response, or the incorrect response. You've already lost one. If you back up and don't collapse on this Drogoz that is pretty out of position right now after his Dragon Punch, then you're giving this fight away for free. You need to try and follow up. You need to try and trade out that kill as best you can.
And getting a Drogoz out of a fight, although it may deny you the ability to keep all of your members up, it does get a crucial member who's providing not a lot of damage individually, but over the collective of the team. That's a lot of individual damage, though. Doseps finds himself with a Mercy Kill grenade, double damage, and slays one. And this will be the team fight going the way of Odin's Chosen, taking the lead in this game.
Mercy Kill Tyra, showing some staying power, some stopping power as well. Such a good answer for Inara and Ruckus. Percentage-based damage on the point, coupled with that convergence pulling everyone back in after they've just tried to escape, is a great look, as well as not the worst matchup against Androxus based on how Dosups is positioning. Almost the same philosophy as the Drogos. Dosups isn't really putting himself in a bad spot ever, so Imikal has to come to him, probably fight in a small room where the mobility isn't going to count for much, and Mercy Kill is so much burst damage in a 1v1. Tyra can duel just about anybody with that.
And yet again, all this focus onto the Drogos means that there's a 15 streak for Bodies, Dosups, and Warjuve. Not what you want to see when you're facing the top team in North America. Dosups on the left-hand side has his Mercy Kill grenade ready to roll. And he's also got Crossfire. Doesn't miss a shot. Up in the air, takes down Invicall. One more Evil Eye helps to slay protection. Mercy Kill still ready. Misses Jake B on the backside, but they have absolutely swung the fight in their favor. Jake B should fall soon. Staying alive is a specialty of his, but not this time around. 3-1 goes the push for Odin's Chosen.
Bodies with a really nice team fight there as well on an 18 streak. Wardoom on a 19 streak. Dosups on a 14. There's just not enough pressure right now. Maybe it has to be a switch up. Maybe look at the Makoa. I think a lot of teams are undervaluing that character now. A 2-second cooldown nerf doesn't prevent Makoa from doing what he's doing. Oftentimes it comes down to just that one hook. Just that one pick is enough. Makoa still has everything he needs to help your team get that one pick, especially against a top-tier squad like Odin's Chosen that is taking a draft right now that's not coming at you. You have to make them come to you. You have to pull them out of position with something like a Dredge Anchor or force your way into the back line with something like an Androxus, but clearly Invicall just can't get it all done on his own.
Resilience coming through to predict and basically nullify the big AoE burst spread that is happening from the combustible legendary Drogos is providing, but also the post-hit stun after the convergence from Saris. Dry drop Bodies takes down Invicall mid the accursed arm in the air and gets another one for his trouble. Lovely play by Drop Bodies here, looking to make it a triple kill withdraw for the extra damage, and he will. 21 streak getting healed up, immortal for Bodies.
And now just so much room to work, and that's the difference in responses. Odin's Chosen lose one, they lose Dosups right off the bat and immediately just go and try and take down, trade out, kill this man. And then everyone sort of splits up in an awkward fashion. Both the tanks collapsed into the back line, leaving the healer exposed. Bodies makes a perfect rotation through that fight inside Heat Haze to pick off all the sustain, and the tanks fall shortly thereafter.
What an incredible play by Jake B to survive. Just Bodies hunting him down. William can't say the same, but Jake B in the back line is coming from a great position. That's a Dread Serpent that could change this fight. They need enough damage, but Convergence is there. Luckily, the Resilience will keep one alive, but not for long. Drop Bodies has not had any contest in this fight. Just too many things to deal with, and not enough time, apparently. Odin's Chosen take this game very convincingly yet again on Jaguar Falls.
He free-fired that whole fight. Not
Sounds
a single
good to
member
me.
put a bullet in him, and on top of that fact, he was already on a 23 streak.
Yeah.
And that's just the name of the game right now. Not enough pressure on Odin's Chosen. These professional players, if you let them just free fire, have their way in a team fight, they're going to rip you apart.
No better way to get your rhythm back than just by working against bots who aren't shooting at you. You know, it's the pit bot in the training room. These guys are just walking by him and not paying any mind. He needs to, you need to upgrade to those Cassie bots, guys. Those ones hurt. Dare Rising, though, still have one more chance to really focus on these targets. And, you know, they're getting beat by the Drogos by and large, in my opinion, just because they're itemizing towards him. They're playing around him. Because that combustible is so effective right now on these maps, by not having that pick, they're just forcing themselves to either let Drogos free fire or let Shaolin free fire. And I think they did choose the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Not taking Bomb King either is a big
that's another
problem
one
for them.
You're right.
A lot of pressure. Bomb King can do okay against Drogos, especially on a map like Jaguar Falls, where Drogos doesn't have a lot of free room to fly around in the skybox. Oftentimes, you know, we're talking about that's the dream, right? Where he Dragon Punches one of your tanks, but then he's just kind of a sitting duck in that little dark room, and Bomb King will just slaughter you. They need to do something. They need to make up some sort of switch up, because right now, Dare Rising, they're taking picks like the Tyra, like the Shaolin, and they're just free firing on these massive streaks. They only took one tank. Wardoom only died once.
Yeah.
Just because they're not losing enough team fights.
That's Wardoom right there. He does everything you want, and then he tries to just be a little sneaky as well. So the enemy team never notices that he's on those huge streaks. Heading into the champion draft, though, Dare Rising, they will be able to take the Drogos this time around, meaning they may have a chance to turn this in their favor. It's do or die.
Chosen chance to respond here, as well as get bodies maybe on Androxus. They take the Inara in the face of the Drogos, complementing with something here. Body's on a rhythm right now, showing that just maybe a bad game, knocking some rust off. He's definitely fully back in my mind. I think you let him have his character.
Yeah, you let him have his character. He feels good on it, and now you see Androxus selected a great pick in this meta. Torvald, very surprising to see. North America, again, switching things up ever constantly outside of what Europe is doing. And so that could be a solo frontliner they're going for. But he also pairs well with a little bit of Ruckus. He pairs well with a little bit of Saris, maybe. Haven't seen this combination very often.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly they're going for. I mean, Torvald and Saris could be a good look just to keep that Drogo safe. I mean, we saw that happen with Random Noob TV versus Denial. Stolzy on his Androxus, one of the best in the world, but just couldn't find the kill, not only because Random Noob was on point and two-shotting Stolzy, but was also being pocketed, healed up as well. Very difficult to bring down. Going to a Victor as well for their hit scan option. And this is just kind of Jake B's champion pool, right? You know exactly when one of his characters gets locked in, it's like, well, that's what he's playing. Victor and Cassie, maybe Shaolin every once in a while, but for the most part, he's kind of that two-trick guy. Yeah,
and he, you know, despite having this kind of consistency in playstyle here, Odin's Chosen willing to mix it up yet again. They don't have the Saris this time around. They've already played the Maldamba. Let's go with a Pip. How about that? Mega Potion Pip could be coming through to heal up these big bodies. This works so well because Inara and Ruckus have such huge health pools. They really benefit from that burst healing. And this could be something that works well for them yet again if they don't shut it down.
Mortal Reach will be the selection here for Dark Rider. Last chance for Dare Rising to turn this series around. Field study for Williams Torvald. Jake B taking Gunnery. Worm Jets for protections. Drogos like the switch up there if he sticks with it. Architectonics for Imba Carlsberg.
Exaction Cassie, 4 Dosips on the side of Odin's Chosen. I drop bodies with Dark Stalker on the Androxus. Evil Eye, Aerial Assault, Ruckus here. Mega Potion Pip for Cuss Cutie, something they made as their staple at the Master's Land. And War Doom will be running Mother's Grace and Nara. A couple cauterizes, Nick, some wreckers.
Yeah, the scary thing here is just how much damage Odin's Chosen composition does right now. Anar does good damage, Ruckus does immense amount of damage, and Cuss Cutie is on the most aggressive support in the game. So there's a lot of burst damage, a lot of potential here. There's no really key pick for me that Dare Rising are looking for that's going to win this team fight for them. There is so much potential. First Blood already going the way of Odin's Chosen.
Evil Eye now with this wrecker and this wall means Torvald's mobility is absolutely being questioned here, and it does not turn to be the answer that he likes to see. Sarah's forced to shadow travel away, but that means they have to give up the objective yet again. 48% now for Odin's Chosen.
Pretty scary. I mean, still a new character to the meta in my eyes, Inara, though. The exact character that I picture for War Doom, just the big front line, just the bully. He's going to walk around, he's going to come straight at you, and he's just going to beat you up. He's going to out-aim you and out-trade you almost every time. 99% on the point for Odin's Chosen here. It feels like they've kind of gotten everything that they want. Everybody looking pretty comfortable.
You know, you can tell the difference between a veteran team and a team that's gaining experience by their strategies when they take a point fight. Do they have something that they do? They just do it a random approach. I love the way they sent the Ruckus to the point. They sent Inara into the right room, and they allowed her to be the leader. War Doom just went and took everyone's attention and put Odin's Chosen in a great spot. They had the objective capture, I think aggressiveness, and then they also had the ability to collapse when needed. Cuss Cutie here on the Mad Scientist Pip, ready to frag on the top balcony.
Pip, another good answer to Anar, quite frankly, with the Evil Mojo, and not a lot of teams are really comfortable with Pip. I mean, it might be Simsolo and EU is the only one I think that consistently runs it, but Odin's Chosen, excuse me, as a squad, ooh, that disengaged. I knew he was going for it. Looks like, did he?
Did he? Oh, he might have been able to get back
The reason
on.
it doesn't show on the kill feed is because it doesn't actually do any damage to Torvald's health.
Oh, wow. So it did take him down. Torvald goes off thanks to a great disengage by Dosips. Cassie just using all of her skills as a Huntress. Shadow Travel here, going to keep Dark Rider immune and invisible for now, but he will go down the second he shows his face. This is Dosips and the boys of Odin's Chosen running riot on the side of Dare Rising.
And the wall actually was given the window there for the payload to scoot its way through because it cancels out the line of sight contest that William did have on it. So getting smacked 2 fights in a row there. William a little bit out of position twice in a row. War Doom with a gorgeous wall as well on a 6 streak. Dosips on a 6 streak going for the Rejuvenate here. Just looking to exploit that Mega Potion Pip. And Odin's Chosen one of the few teams that can make this work. Their communication so fluid, as well as they just know how to work well with it. Evil Eye and War Doom, knowing when it's time to get healing, they need to look to get together as opposed to just yelling at Cuss Cutie to heal them.
They're going to be having to yell to get some points on this objective, Dare Rising, speaking of, because they have none so far, and they are staring defeat and a opportunity to just get knocked out in the semifinals of this last week if they don't pull something together here. Really good wall. Seismic crash as well. Triple stun there by Wardoom. Are they going to follow up on it? Dosips gets one. iDrop Bodies gets another. William, though, trades his life with Wardoom, and iDrop Bodies and Dosips still alive to clean up the mess.
They killed everyone. That's the problem. That's what we were talking about. Both tanks went down, but frankly, the triple stun may have been what won that team fight, because while we didn't see any frags immediately after it, we have Dosips chipping away at all those big health pools the entire time, and then really quickly 3 more kills come through after Wardoom does lose his life. So many options for Odin's Chosen to win this team fight. Cassie can do it, and Droxus can do it. Frankly, the Ruckus and the Inara can both do it as well, with Cuskcutie keeping them both very healthy.
Protection here on the Drogos, getting hunted down by the Godslayer. He might try to use a combustible here, Fire Spit, excuse me, try and walk him down. He's got the Worm Jets to try and run away, but he can't run away from the Godslayer. iDrop Bodies on a 9 streak, sprays to let you know he's feeling confident. And now 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. It is 3-0. Odin's Chosen staring at victory and a spot in the finals in the face.
He's looking really, really strong on both Shaolin and Androxus now. Turning things around after game number 1. Torvald up on the high ground, trying to find something. Streak might be shut down here if he's not careful, just trying to stay safe for the time being, using all those dashes just to stay out of anyone's line of sight. Body's going to stay alive and escape with his life.
You can't just keep trying to chase him, loot, and give your position up. That's the benefit of Androxus with Darkstalker. He'll force you to either let him go or run away and leave your entire base undefended.
Barrage gets nothing as well. Mega Potion just going to clean up all the damage done by both of those. Jake B in a rough spot. Trying to go pedal to the metal here, but it's not going to be enough. 3 for 1 already in favor of Odin's Chosen. Dosips is healthy. Headed to the backline. Hyper Beam is going to clean up 1. Let's hope it's enough.
He takes the healer out of the fight, and now a combustible is going to add some damage, but protection, if it goes like it did before, will get taken down, and Odin's Chosen 3-0 Dare Rising to send them home and put themselves in the finals.
So a great answer there to the Drogos. Unable to get quite as much done. Wasn't able to take the combustible, I think, was the difference. He went for the Worm Jet style of just kind of evading a lot of the flankers. Didn't end up working out. Part of running combustible has to be you need to trust your team to keep you protected in the backline. Still got the most amount of damage done. William only hitting 5K, so not having a lot of free time. There were 3 wreckers on Odin's Chosen to blast him to pieces, as well as some nicely placed walls from Wardoom, cutting him off from any support from his squad, and just cleanly executed by Odin's Chosen.
Torvald, and you talk about all these champion selections just never having the type of impact that Dare Rising wanted them to, and that will cause them to have a last week showing that was probably less than what they wanted. Not what they expected here, maybe trying to upset the Giants, but it's very different. It's very rare we have the David and Goliath setting in real life, and the David does win. These guys have been on top of their game. They are, by and large, the best performing team consistently in North America, and they're not dropping anything here.
And so the big thing here is that means Dare Rising are going to go to that 3rd place match. So Swarm still have a chance. Their set against Denial will be coming up soon.
Well, can't wait to see that one. We'll take a look at more Paladins Esports coming up right after this break. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Paladins esports action. My name is Rainday, Evan Rayner. This is Nick Keogh, High Res Pretty Hair. We're ready to get back into it. It's our second set of the day for our semifinals. Denial Esports versus Swarm. And Swarm, kind of an interesting story here coming into the scene.
I can't remember if it's just they didn't make it that far. Maybe they got a bad roll of the dice out of the first couple of weeks. But coming in really strong in week number 3. And this is a couple recognizable faces, at least for me. Random Noob TV, he streams a lot of ranked, a lot of high-level ranked. Great guy as well. A team that I'm rooting for him. I want to see him make it to the top 4. I want to see him make it into the open bracket because I love seeing, one of our big ranked streamers put a team together, guys. Let's get it popping and start to find success, even against some of the old veterans of our scene.
On Brightmarsh, this guy was lights out. He played Fusillade Drogos, and next patch, the thing got nerfed. So I don't know if that tells you anything, but this guy was unstoppable, even for the likes of Stolzy. So they will actually end up being facing off yet again in this exact same situation. Androxus taken by Denial Esports, probably to take the counter to the Drogos.
It's not going to deter them. It is the counter, but I don't think it's going to deter Swarm whatsoever. I think they're still going to take it. I think it's too big of a part of their strategy.
Can they?
In addition to the fact that we have seen Drogos be taken in the face of Androxus, and as long as they pocket it enough, it can still succeed even against Stolzy.
Absolutely. The Drogos can be extremely effective, especially when you're talking about Fusillade. It doesn't have the nerf yet, so in this patch, it will still do 50% extra damage.
Will he go Fusillade even?
I don't know.
After he's been seeing so many people succeed with Fire Spit, he'd have to adjust his play style to that. I don't know if they're ready to go for that sort of thing.
It's a good question.
They take the ruckus away from Bitey. I think that's very important to do as well.
It's a good question, and Swarm maybe having done their homework. Doesn't strike me that this team is going to let things slip aside. Seems like they will be prepared for this matchup, especially having done it already.
This is where game number 5 was in the previous week. Bomb King rounding things out for Denial as well, so strong picks on both sides. Now, it did come down to that 3-3 scenario. It was game number 5. It wasn't the most convincing win. It's one less hit scan counter than they had last time. No Tyra this time around. So, Random Noob, can he carry the weight? I don't know if Vandy is still playing with this team this week, but can he go big on what I think would be the Cassie? He was an absolute impact player as well. That didn't get a whole lot of credit last week because we were just so enamored with this Drogos, but he, for me, was definitely a key factor to their success.
And he is. So we'll get into Denial's lineup first. Another name that's new to Denial, Prince Danny TV, playing the Godslayer Androxus. We'll see what legendary he picks up soon. Mortal Reach, Saris for Arai. It's going to be Firefight Victor for Bitey. A lot of bonus damage in these tight corridors. Accelerant Bomb King for Stolzy. Mother's Grace Inara for Wi-Fi. And it will be Godslayer for Prince Danny TV.
Vandy on Cassie with Exaction, as well as a cauterized Random Noob TV. Mr. Paul, can he get it done on Fusillade Drogos? Mr. Hayes on Ripened Gourd Maldamba with a Kronos, Amos on Fortified Barrack. So switching things up from the Architectonics Norm, as well as a Flux Generator for Dryce's Ruckus.
Going to be an exciting one. Flux Generator, not what we usually see with Ruckus, but a very close-in space for a Ruckus to make work of that extra damage reduction for his entire team when they're standing near him on the objective. Could be valuable here. And Wi-Fi is actually forced back. Bitey is the first blood. Random Noob TV starts things off the way he finished them. Looking to finish off Prince Danny TV, and he does. Two for the money. That is what they want. And Stolzy almost stays alive, but goes down as well.
Disengage from Vandy is just too much. Prince Danny able to get the trade, but Random Noob had already done the damage he came to deal. 72% in a strong zone from Dryce. I don't think anyone's going to be able to get back here. Prince Danny might be the saving grace. He's going to have to use all his dashes to get in here. If he misses that nether step, just gets blown up. Doesn't even matter here. Overtime doesn't come through. Swarm take the first payload.
A Fusillade Drogos is a deadly thing. It's the stuff of nightmares when you're definitely not expecting it. But here's a Firefight Victor, and that's going to do a lot of damage too. Surprised that he actually got out of that and is able to hit a Fire Spit as well. Gets healed up thanks to the heads-up play by his healer, Maldamba. What a great performance, and Random Noob TV and Swarm still looking very strong.
And this is different from Denial. They've got Stolzy on Bomb King. They've got Bitey on Victor. This is weird for them. This isn't anything normal here, so maybe able to use that to their advantage. Swarm in the lead right now, but they are dropping 3 kills for nothing in this kind of skirmish in the middle here, so they're going to have to take a deep breath here. Denial will have the chance. Whoa, where did that come from? Downtown stun. Downtown stun from Mr. Hayes.
That's right. And, there's Random Noob TV in the air. Stolzy knows he's got to help contend with this dragon. And He can detonate these bombs mid-air, which is what makes Bomb King decent at dealing with Drogos, just not the best. That's where you want Prince Danny TV to be spending most of his time, but so far it's been difficult to do so. You can't keep your eyes off of Vandy. You can't keep your eyes off the Dragon as well. He returns the favor onto Wi-Fi, and Vandy takes down Stolzy in the process, leaving Arai to shadow travel alone. This is looking bad.
A lot of momentum, 4 for nothing in favor of Swarm right now. Denial have got to come back, and Arai's going to go down. Respawns are going to be coming through here shortly, but Salvo is primed and ready. Random Noob needs some help right now. He's pretty poked out, but nobody sees him. Salvo up into the air, forces Bitey back into spawn, and the payload, meanwhile, is inches from conversion.
This could be it. Prince Danny TV under the pressure. He's feeling it, but he will actually take himself this great sleep thanks to Bitey, and Stolzy's going to try and finish one more. It is Mr. Hayes, but he's not going to have enough by himself to push this payload to conversion.
There it is.
40 seconds left. If finally been able to take a breath.
Coach Bitey making it happen. 3 kills in that engagement, 2 from the barrage, 1 from the gun. Stolzy finds 2 as well, so the 2v5 pans out. Denial find a way to get it done. Still time left on the clock, however, for Storm to get this going. 51% on the Dragon Punch could be a factor if Random Noob's able to get a lot of work done. Nice grenades. Gonna spot out too, and a lot of damage continues to pour in. Paul's in a bad spot and likely to go down.
Random Noob TV on the Drogos just survives way longer than you think he should. And those little things, they matter. That means that everyone is rotating a second longer to finish him off, giving your other teammates a second more to do what they need to do, whether it's damage, whether it's healing, whether it's get around a corner. And that is what Random Noob TV on this Drogos continually is bringing to the Swarm squad. It's overtime. It is about time to see the seismic crash from Wi-Fi as well, but this also could be the death of 2 members on Denial, and Random Noob TV is still alive.
Vandy gets the angle. The Fuselage Drogos doing so much. Dome Shield's going to buy a lot of time and positioning here for Swarm. Dragon Punch is ready, but the Shadow Travel going to buy plenty of time for these Denial respawns to maybe make their way out. Bitey, can he make another round-saving play?
This looks real bad. There's Saris down, no healer, and they've got a couple tanks here with them and the Dragon in the sky. Bitey can't focus his attention onto the point, and Prince Danny TV is left alone. Tried a mid-air shot him, and he does. Fuselage topped off with a Dragon Punch. Random Noob TV and Swarm swarming Bright Marsh, and Denial Esports are feeling the pressure.
What a play. Everyone on Swarm is playing extremely effectively right now, but Random Noob making another highlight reel style play. Vandy also had a clutch shot in that engagement. He got behind somehow, found an angle on Prince Danny to take him out during the reversal that frankly could have traded out, taking Dryce's life, but he was able to stay alive. A lot went right for Swarm and a lot went wrong for Denial. One thing Denial can look to switch up is maybe not just, giving up the payload almost inches from conversion off the back of the first fight there. Swarm got a lot done with their momentum coming off that point capture.
Mr. Hayes as well stayed alive, whereas Arai didn't, and that is the big key, I think, for those pushes or those defenses really going in your favor, especially as the offensive team. You need your healer there. They just weren't able to take out their source of sustain, and with those big bodies like Ruckus dealing with all that healing and then in the air being Random Noob TV, it created too many problems. But already, Vandy and Dryce get 2 kills of their own. This is starting off even worse for Denial. They're forced back completely.
Surging forward, plenty of room to do damage. Now, Random Noob pumping in the hurt onto Inara. Vandy finding a huge kill there. And now the zone is going to be super strong. This is a Seed 1 aggressiveness zone. And the difference here this time is it's not just Vandy and Random Noob. Dryce and Amos come out. One's going to fall, though. So they give up a little bit more than they probably would have liked. There's a fire spit on a Stolzy. He's going to be poked out.
And he's going to be...
Oh,
nice Grumpy Bomb stun. That's a good defensive tactic by Bomb King. Leaves it there in case anyone follows up, and they get stunned by the time he leaves, so they can't pursue. Random Noob TV will slay Wi-Fi as well. Stolzy in with a King Bomb, trying to just confirm the damage, but he just doesn't have enough DPS before having to retreat. Ruckus is full health, and his healer, Mr. Hayes, is still alive. Convergence will help get Amos, but that's about it.
Still keeping the fight going here. Mr. Hayes with a nice Dread Serpent, as well as somehow keeping that Ruckus alive. Not sure quite how he did it. Comeback mechanic enabled for Denial, though. They are quickly closing this capture percentage gap.
There's not a lot of wiggle room for mistakes here. It's going to be up to Swarm to make this a 3-0, or will they give it right back to Denial and make this a tie game? Stolzy gets a lot of damage, and that's a great wall by Wi-Fi to let Denial Esports come back into this game.
Not going to be enough there. So much left in the tank for Denial, and the comeback mechanic, that was all they needed, was that one little clean, convincing win there. Bitey with a double kill as well, getting it done. two frontliners means that this hipfire Victor is going to be viable.
So we'll see how Random Noob TV and his squad of Vandy, Mr. Hayes, and the likes continue to impress on the defensive side. They've got to hold now against Denial's momentum. And will it be the same collapse at the end, or will they hold strong? Amos trying to set himself up in the corner.
Stolze has a good angle on this barrack as well. Amos falling pretty low. 600 health, back up into the air. Stolze poked out of this fight. No one really to chase it down. Not a whole lot of dive, and first kill will go the way of Denial. So they come around this final corner with the momentum on their side.
Salvo ready in prime. Fires on 2, hits nobody, but here's a fire spit to just clear out the space yet again. He's got the ultimate charged up, and he's looking for 1. Will he find Wi-Fi yet again? The wall up too late, not going to save him. Drogo starts the fight with 1.
Lands the fight with a double kill as well by the end of things. Long range fire spit coming out. Not going to kill Bitey because he got topped off by Ari. Prince Danny finds the frag over on the right side, but still already too much loss for Denial. They're not going to be able to push forward just yet. Decent zone coming out here from Trice. Not a whole lot of room to push out. That was what actually got them killed and dropped game number 5 in the last week, so Swarm definitely being more careful with their zones.
Like they saw so effective in keeping Mr. Hayes alive for their offensive push last round, it's going to be important to kill this Saris. That is what Arai is going to be trying to avoid happening to himself. Bitey and Stolze, though, take down 3 of the most crucial members on this squad. Let's make it 4. Bitey combining here with Stolze to make a huge impact, and Mr. Hayes, he's the last one to fall, which could be the worst, since he'll be the last one up to respawn.
Yeah, leaving him pretty staggered as well, catching a lot of that salvo. One more shot. Random Noob comes out on top of that 1v1, trying to hold things down. Amos will lose his dome shield, gaining nothing for it. Little fadeaway king bomb rolling back into the fight. Doesn't kill Vandy, stuns him out though. Is it enough to stabilize?
Not sure that's exactly what Stolze was looking for there. They've given Random Noob a chance to survive and get back into this fight.
Wow.
Now he's taken down 2. Wi-Fi's trying to finish him off, but Mr. Hayes is here as well, and they've given enough time for their tank to stay alive. And that is what could have done it for this push.
Danny doesn't look like he got the memo though. Popping the accursed arm, trying to keep it alive. Big reversal coming through. Here's gonna eliminate Trice, getting up into the air, getting a little bit of healing. Danny looking like he wants to save the day, and he will. Denial find the conversion. Danny says, no backing off here, Wi-Fi. We're going in.
Catch these hands. Androxus with the huge Godslayer reversal, changing the tide of that fight, taking down Ruckus, and then that leads to the ultimate demise of taking down Mr. Hayes, and Random Noob TV forced to fly away without being able to contest. Great stuff there by Prince Danny.
Nimble Life Rip as well as Haven 3 already online for Random Noob for his Drogo. Just trying to stay alive against all this hit scan pressure. The Androxus as well as Bitey picking up the Victor. And I like this style of going hipfire here because even without the Gunnery Legendary, Victor still does good damage, aim down sights, and really where Victor struggles is when people get in his face. So I like Firefight taking it just because that's the situation, that's the scenario you need that extra damage the most, is when somebody's trying to get in your face and take you out.
And that's where, you know, Victor's going to run these corridors, right? It's very tight, close combat corridors, and he's going to need as much damage as possible right there. Hipfire, very, very effective in Bright Marsh, which is a close-in map. Grenade throw, and this already starts off pretty well. Random Noob TV goes down, and there's another one for Bitey.
Grenade onto the point as well. This is the situation Hipfire Victor was designed for. I think Ruckus knows that here. Dryce backs off. Nice wall from Inara, putting a lot of damage into Vandy. One more shot's going to do it. Grenade goes down, lands, direct impact, and the explosion for a total of 850 damage. Forces Vandy out of the fight. Bitey not scared to fight at low HP.
Random Noob TV goes down yet again, runs into the trap made by Stolze with the bombs. Stolze looking for one more, and he's got a killing spree, but that is a lot chasing him. It is Dryce running full DPS, but he's locked out of the objective now. That's not where Ruckus wants to be. 96% going into 99, but they've got a contest here by Swarm.
Sarah's so hard to bring down. Couldn't figure out a way to do it as well. 80 HP, Dryce goes down, Amos goes down. Overtime started for Denial. Danny's got his hands up in the air, blocking all that damage. Wi-Fi's there for the retreat, and overtime ticks down and out.
Prince Danny TV and Stolze working so well together here to finish off Random Noob TV. One and the other, they're both trading off who gets the last shot onto him, and that's applying the pressure they need to turn the tide in this matchup. They got caught off guard earlier because of how good he was and how they weren't expecting it, but you cannot claim that you don't expect it right now.
Now, Cursed Arm comes out. Vandy doesn't have the roll up. No frags, though, received from that Accursed Arm ultimate. And Vandy will keep his life safe as well. Trying to throw that reversal back up in the air. Not going to land onto anyone, though. Denial on the back foot right now.
Extremely important that he caught that too. That would have been his death for sure. And now 5 members of Denial are alive. Seismic Crash and King Bomb available as the ultimates. Minute and 46 seconds left on the clock. For Swarm though, they're defending with 4 big-time ultimates, and the Dome Shield is ready.
No Poppy Bomb there, so just rolling into his doom. Stolzy taking a page out of Lazy's book there. Well, I mean, Lazy doesn't really miss
You know,
too
Nick,
many
you're picking
Poppy
on
Bombs.
Lazy too much, man.
He's my boy.
He is your boy, and I think that's why it happened. But, you know, not every ult. Now, I was watching the broadcast the other day. Lazy hit like 4 really good ults, and the one ult he didn't do well. Everyone's like, lazy ult, lazy ult. You know, give the guy a break. But Stolzy doesn't come out there with something I'd say he put on his ESPN highlight.
Not top 10 there. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so
Yes.
I appreciate when Lazy does go for those kind of highlight reel. You got to at least try. Big Seismic Crash coming through. Wi-Fi's looking to save the day here, and Barrage coming through, giving a lot of damage from Bitey. Prince Danny's there in the back line to clean up a lot of those kills. Mr. Hayes will go down. Prince Danny cleans up another one, so full squad wipe there. Denial could be looking for the win off this conversion.
They've got to wait. They've got to wait, and they have to go out as a team. If they let this stagger at all, look at this patience. Oh, I love it. It's so good. And the payload is just at the right spot. They defended well enough that entire round to not have that be the case. Arai throws out the convergence, but no follow-up because they dread Serpent. That's Mr. Hayes coming to play.
Gorgeous.
And Random Noob TV and the squad absolutely shut down this push and end Denial's momentum.
That may have saved the round. A lot of ultimates spent.
Saved
but
the game.
Big one there. Yeah, the game, in fact. Mr. Hayes with a colossal split with that beautifully, precisely timed Dread Serpent. Good stuff there. That's how the supports impact the game.
And that is a heads-up play. You have to know that that is going to be your call. You have to anticipate the convergence. There's only half a second. He could have responded to that, which was so impressive to me, knowing that he was right on the money. There's the Dome Shield. They need it. They know the defense needs to stay successful, and it will be. Bitey's going to go down as well. They'll gladly take another chance to win this game rather than give up a sloppy defense.
Narrowly going to come away with the ultimate lead here. Denial have the Accursed Arm almost there on the King Bomb. Swarm have to spend everything for that defense. See if that comes back to haunt them. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Got to get to the 3-3 scenario. It's entirely possible to win a team fight in Paladins without your ultimates, especially when you're playing as well as these guys are. Late game Cauterize 2 comes through for Random Noob, Bandy, and Dryce hitting the Cauterize 3 marks. Items about equalized, just those little flavor picks coming through, like a Life Rip for Prince Danny, Rejuvenate. For Wiffle has the Resilience 1 online if he needs it. Not a whole lot of crowd control outside of the Dread Serpent, though, on Swarm.
Amos here with a 5 streak, 3,400 health onto the stay-at-home dad, Barrick of the Realm. He's going around the corner with his teammates. Already takes 1,000 damage there, probably from around a bomb of 900 DPS for Stolzy. But now, in the backline, Random New TV isn't worried about Stolzy. He's worried about Androxus. Prince Danny TV comes through with 2 big assists and 1 final kill. And this is all Denial Esports. They might have just won the game off of that.
69% here. Not a lot of take-back potential. They're winning this team fight from the point. Mr. Hayes is caught in a really bad spot here. Not going to go down, but frankly, they're not even worried about it. Denial just trying not to give up a pick. They don't. They find the payload. Not even going to need to push it because that's 4-3.
It's a bit disappointing if you're a Swarm fan to see such a good defense, so many leads and so many opportunities really seized to have that kind of go there. It felt very anticlimactic. Very melancholy point fight. They just didn't ever have a moment that they were in contest, and that is where the big boys come to play. And that's what Bitey, Stolzy, Prince Danny TV, Wi-Fi, and Arai showed why they are second place right now in this scene.
Still, though, so much damage done by Random Noob. 124k. Bandy with 82k. Dryce with 72. Stolzy 81, 114. A lot of damage done for Bitey, just trying to chew those tanks apart. And it makes it difficult, right? Because Mr. Hayes is probably pretty concerned with Random Noob because he was the focus, a lot of the attention of Denial's team fights. And that just kind of leaves Amos and Dryce out to dry, out to fend for themselves. But even without the Inara, Mr. Hayes still gets so much healing done. 124k, really good Dread Serpents. Good stuff coming from the support of the losing team, which is it's tough to make yourself look good on a scoreboard as a healer on the losing squad because you're almost your success comes as a factor of the rest of your team.
Yes, it is kind of true that if you're losing, your teammates are probably not staying alive as much as the other team, and you probably aren't healing as much because those two go hand in hand, not staying alive, not getting healed, but he still somehow does it. He's got 2 big bodies to work with, with the Ruckus and the Barrack. So now we'll see if the drafts change. Serpent Beach will be the next map. This is definitely a map where you see drafts flavor and favor a little bit more of the verticality, the upwards mobility to contend on both levels where this fight takes place.
Both good and bad for both teams here. And Droxus very strong, but Drogoz is at the same time, and having that Bomb King pressure, I think, is going to be important for Denial. And the first pick, Drogoz, it's such a big staple to their strategy. This is going to be probably Swarm's weakness.
Yeah.
As Denial know what they're going to do. They know exactly how to, I mean, they've had all week to plan around it.
Yeah.
And figure out what they want their answer to be this time around. They got taken to 5 games. Barely losing that one was Swarm, but Denial, you know, they have so much to go to, whereas Swarm really haven't shown much more than just this Drogoz as the staple.
And whereas Denial Esports have had success with multiple lineups, we've really seen Swarm really have their most and kind of only success in this scene with that Drogoz carrying a lot of the weight. It will be interesting to see if they start to show development here, show some signs of improving and adding flexibility to their roster. Right now, though, the Drogoz and the Ceres locked in, and Droxus and Ruckus taken for Denial Esports. Swarm trying to figure out their third pick. Maybe going for a tank here. Nara seems to be locked in.
Will be pretty strong on Serpent Beach, at least during the point fight, and partially during the payload pusher is kind of like a little gully she can wall off effectively. But outside of that, one thing I think is also hurting Swarm is that because Drogoz is your staple, and Denial have Stolzy and Prince Danny, Vandy's never getting in Droxus.
Yes,
and that
that's true.
Sucks because he is nutty with that character. Extremely good at Cassie as well, but he damn near carried the Stone Keep game from last week. And then Droxus, probably going to be him on the Shaolin this time around. Could be Dryce as well. Yeah, probably Dryce on the Shaolin and Cassie for Vandy if, you know, that's proven anything. Dryce they put him on Kinessa, so I guess he's more of the long-range guy. It's a new roster overall, so we're still trying to figure out with you guys, you know, who prioritizes what. And Makoa coming through last, as well as the Bomb King Denial, getting a very solid lineup.
Point Denial. You've got the Repulsor Field. You've got the Grumpy Bomb. You've got the Dread Serpent.
This is Spidey.
And this is
We're taking aerial assault.
We're talking about aerial assault. But he's still got Repulsor Field. He's not Flux Generator. He's probably not going to be near that near his teammates at any point in time, though. This will be on the side of Swarm. Mortal Reach Ceres for Mr. Hayes. Impulse Blast Shot Legendary for Cassie on Vandy. That's the first time I think we've seen that in competitive. Recurve Shaolin for Dryce. Random New TV running Fuselage Drogoz. And Mother's Grace and Nara for Amos.
Prince Danny will have Darkstalker this time around. That 3D mobility just too good to pass up. Ripening Gourd for Arise and Maldamba. What other than aerial assault for Bitey's Ruckus. Stolzy with the accelerant on his Bomb King, and Whipple taking the pluck for his Makoa. So my thoughts on the impulse for the Cassie might just be who's giving him the most problems. Is it Androxus? Is that extra burst damage? Because maybe Vandy feels if I can just get through Prince Danny with this extra little bit of burst damage, then I'm golden for the rest of this team fight.
Absolutely. Hops off preliminary, looking for the salvo. He doesn't hit anyone, but there's a Fusillade, not a combustible, fire spit for crying out loud. That's going to do a little bit of damage onto the Ruckus, but not enough to force Random New TV out of dodge. Prince Danny TV is on the hunt, wants to find the dragon in the air, but that Darkstalker is going to help him forced away from the fight. Bitey, though, gets the first blood onto Amos.
Whipple quickly dying thereafter. Stolzy unable to get one. Makes the window, though, for Prince Danny to clean up Vandy. Bitey's in a pretty good spot. He can't go fly freely, though, eating a lot of damage from these Fusillade rockets. 64% already for Random Noob's Dragon Punch, but Denial definitely in control of the point right now.
The sky currently not safe for Random Noob TV, but they've got time, like you mentioned, Nick, but that's not
much
what they need. They need life for their Drogoz, who gets taken down by Bitey, the flying mech in the backside of this fight, and Amos is melting. Yikes. Like a hot knife through a butter, and he will take down the front line for Swarm. They've only got one, Nick, in comparison to Denial's 2 frontliners, and maybe that could be a big telling point of how this series goes.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but Vandy and Dryce got caught kind of in a little pocket being pinned down together by just Prince Danny, and there was no follow-up pressure. Amos left out to dry on the point, goes down pretty quickly thereafter, and Denial take the first payload with confidence. That was almost 100-0 capture.
In many ways, Stolzy on this Bomb King reminds me of a guy prepping for maybe a bigger tournament where Bomb King is absolutely in the meta, where you need to be able to take it away and play it just as well versus maybe an EU team that might show up in one of your groups. So preparing on this champion, I think, a very smart thing.
Definitely a good look here. King Bomb's being wound up by Stolzy, goes off the top rope here, looking for Vandy's Cassie. He's gonna find it. No roll available to get back to spawn safely. And
nice.
Good hook out of the sky as well, but there's the pocket healing that's keeping Random Noob alive.
Grumpy Bomb going to get displaced by the wall. Stolzy going to pop himself over that to start the fight yet again and just put Amos under pressure. Earthing Guard activated. She is CC immune and debuff immune, getting the full healing back from Cirrus as she defends. Dread Serpent is ready now, but look at Random Noob TV. Wi-Fi right out of the sky. Get down here, Dragon, and they capitalize perfectly.
2 in a row, still good answer to the Dragon if you're able to hit it. Seen very top-tier teams be able to take that Makoa in confidence against the Dragon. Flies around in the sky. 2 picks for nothing right now. Amos, nowhere really to go. Vandy falls. Amos soon to follow after. It's his Drogos body block to try to keep him alive. Wi-Fi just can't miss right now.
Bullying. This is absolute cyberbullying that we're looking at right now. Paladins is not known for this kind of behavior, but Wi-Fi just putting on a show that's going to put him in detention after this type of performance. He is absolutely not letting Random Noob TV have any space. And not only the double frontliner, but the presence Makoa has against this Drogos is absolutely game-changing.
Both of those frontliners are extremely dangerous for the respective reasons that Wi-Fi's not missing a hook. Bitey can actually fly with the build that he's going for. He's taking his Chronos as well just to keep his dashes on the most minimal cooldown possible. The big story here, though, is the items are not being held in contention by Swarm. You can see Vandy, Dryce, all on Cauterize 1, as well as Amos, just not enough credits in the bank. The push was too convincing, too fast from Denial, and they were able to take total control of the economy.
Poppy Bomb doesn't work out, but that Dread Serpent sure does. Wi-Fi gets blasted back, but pulls in Random Noob TV and Dryce to help make sure they get a kill onto the 2 carries for the side of Swarm. So much damage here coming out from Stolzy, and being uncontested yet again reminds me of Shaolin earlier on in a few games we watched where he just has no pressure on him.
Nobody's really looking for him. 54% on the point for Denial. Total control right now. Ruck is pressuring out Random Noob, putting him about 3-4 HP. Bitey forced to fall back, though. Going to be kept safe for the time being. Gets around the corner. Convergence comes through. Doesn't look like it pulls anyone. Vandy will find 1 frag. Stolzy answers back. There's some big momentum swinging through for Denial.
Well, that's big. Dryce gets 2 big kills there. No CC immune, but it will mean that Wi-Fi has enough health to withstand a couple of arrows there, and he's going to go ahead and try and fight down, and he will. Dryce, and there's Stolzy taking out Random Noob TV in the air.
16 streak.
This is incredible play, not only by Stolzy, but I think excellent showcase of Wi-Fi and how much a guy who's been playing this Makoa as a kind of staple pick for them in this last meta can impact a game when you just put him on a comfortable champion and let him go to work.
And I think this is probably the strength of Astral and Denial as the meta shifts. Probably a little bit more than EU, as they will still go to stuff. They're not going to be like, oh, this champion
exactly
slightly touched, he's gone, he's dead to us now. They're not afraid to run anything. Big thing here for me as well is, you're right, Stolzy looking like he's preparing for LAN already. He's starting to get the Bomb King in the champion pool. He's starting to get the Drogos as well, and especially because they're going to be playing EU teams if they make it to Valencia. They have added Prince Danny, who is, you know, hit scan incarnate right now for them. And
yes,
Stolzy has to be that superstar that steps up and learns the other roles.
Bitey, Bugsy, not the best Bomb King until he had to start playing Bomb King. Lazy, definitely not the best Bomb King. Definitely not the best Drogos, but these guys, they had to learn it to contend with their counterparts, to stay relevant in this scene, and that is what I love seeing Stolzy and the North American teams start to do as well. Doesn't work there. The 16 streak, however, ended, means that Prince Danny TV will have his moment to shine. Double kill for the Godslayer. Random Noob TV answers back, but this could be the end of the game right here. Missed stun out of the air, but Random Noob TV will eventually help to claim the life of Arai as well. A great hold by Swarm.
Starting to stabilize. Mr. Hayes found some good damage there as well. Convergence hoping to set things up. Vandy finds Whiffle before staying alive. 30 seconds remain here. Bomb King coming back in, looking for the angle. Have plenty of time. Don't have a lot of tools left to do it, however.
Yeah.
Not a lot of ultimates. Cursed Arm was just used. Swarm have plenty to keep this staved off, and if they can do it cheaply,
you're right,
they're going to have a good team fight set up for themselves in the next round.
They're right. They've got to save and conserve. It's a 401k planning session right here because they need to save all their assets for a later time in this fight because they've got so much more fighting to actually do. Prince Danny TV goes straight for Mr. Hayes, and he got the Shadow Travel. All he needs, no more healing on the battlefield right now.
Trading 1 for 1 right now. Overtime's going to be started for Denial. Whiffle's pretty low right now. Vandy's taking a risk here in the back line. It's not going to pay off. He finds one before he goes down. However, big Hexafire value from Bitey as well as onto Dryce in the back line. However, doesn't get the kill. Uh-oh, a lot of stall could come out from Wi-Fi if he doesn't just carry the round himself.
They've got to make sure they get the kill. Oh my gosh, Wi-Fi comes in.
What a game
huge.
from Whiffle.
And absolutely dominates this performance. We thought we'd be talking about Stolzy and Prince Danny, but no, Wi-Fi I think showed up here big time, shut down Random Noob almost single-handedly, so he got no momentum and helps to carry that payload into completion.
A downfall as well. We couldn't really hear it based on where Prince Danny was standing once it got thrown off, but Random Noob whiffed a Dragon Punch in that engagement. Retains his charge, but wasn't enough time left in the round to come through again, so a big misplay there down the line, and one that would have been the perfect answer to that Ancient Rage. Had you know, not only did he miss it, but now you're out of position, you're getting caught out.
Yeah.
Probably went down there, and big misplays down the line. Whiffle, saving grace for me in that game was, you know, by and large the sole answer to Random Noob's Drogos, which has been a big staple of Swarm's strategy. Now down 2 games. They got to bring it back now or never.
Yeah, Swarm are looking at a clear defeat opportunity here. They've got to change their fate. I'm not sure if they can at this point. A lot of these games happen to run off of momentum, and, you know, the experience tends to get the better end of these longer sets as well. So everything looking like it's going to Niall's way, but it's not like we haven't seen crazier things happen. Stone Keep will be the next map that they fight on. And the big key for me is, can they continue to have lineups that don't necessarily revolve around Drogos and be successful against Denial? That's the big question they've got to answer for me.
Maybe not revolve around Drogos, but then the second box be successful around Denial. That's the big key to fill, and I don't see it coming out. I think Denial are confident enough to just let them have Drogos every time. They're probably saying, don't throw anything weird at us. But the big thing here is that with their first pick, they will select Ruckus, allowing Vandy to get Androxus on Stone Keep, so not only the character, but the same map that Vandy was able to find super success. If Swarm can bring it back, it's going to be now.
But even more important, they don't have that inherent counter to Drogos. So they've literally made Drogos safer and better, and they've given Vandy the best character he could have. This is a perfect start for Swarm. Ruckus, though, taking the Denial, and that is something Bitey loves. Wi-Fi has been playing the Inara, not as impactful as I think as Makoa has been as of late, but still very good. And they've got a Rai on the Saris.
Saris and Inara, too good to pass up for Denial. They're confident in it, but you know, now they don't have Androxus. I was going to say, well, they have Whiffle on Makoa. I mean, that was great. He hit 3 for 3 from what we were spectating, but he's going to be on Inara. Bomb King taken as well. What's it going to be? Maybe something like a Victor. What is Danny going to play? Is it going to be Eevee? Is it going to be Shaolin? That's what he had to go to when Androxus wasn't on the table, and it's going to be Shaolin.
And I love that they're continuing to have the Bomb King in the lineup, looking very European with these drafts. Maybe not the Shaolin here and there, but no flank. You're right. That's absolutely correct. And that means that they could get punished by the Kinessa. So a sniper coming to Stone Keep for Swarm. It's all cards out on the table. Let's let the river flop and see who takes game number 3. It's going to be important, man.
You know, Stone Keep not really a Kinessa-y map, even if there is no flank, so it's going to be definitely Dryce's prerogative to find a way to get value here. Area Assault for Ruckus could be in his face before he knows it. Mortal Reach for Ari's. Saris Accelerant for Stolzy's. Bomb King. It's going to be Whiffle on Mother's Grace. And Nara, Prince Danny with the recurve. Shaolin.
Darkstalker, Androxus for Vandy. Dryce going to be running Eagle Eye Kinessa. As you mentioned, they let him play the long-range champions. Random Noob TV on Fusillade Drogos yet again. Hayes on the Ripened Gourd Maldamba, and Amos on Scorch Fernando.
Only one, not taking Aegis, but only one Wrecker regardless thus far. Stolzy does go for the Cauterize and another
Aegis.
Cauterize.
It is Aegis.
Okay, so switching on to the Aegis, we'll have some pretty good staying power as Prince Danny is the sole source of Wrecker from Denial.
Very interesting setup here. Both teams sending one frontliner to the point. I like that direction that they're going on, and maybe not recognizing the switch to Aegis, not expecting the Fernando to be on the objective and maybe more in the back line. So far, 3% to 3%, and this is actually good. Not a lot of pressure on a Random Noob TV, and that's never what you want to see, but Prince Danny TV is going to do a lot of damage, and Bitey cleans it up.
Here we go, Vandy. You have to go big now. It's your time to shine. Random Noob is dead, but you have the angle in the back line. He's looking for it. Whiffle on his Zanara. Has to win this 1v1 with Stolzy. It's going to favor Stolzy slightly in this 1v1, especially with the angle given here. 3 kills, though, falling on the front side. Vandy can't get enough done and fast enough in the back line.
That tracking through charge. Prince Danny TV hits pretty much 75% of that planet, which is a very good skill set to showcase. He's looking like a superhero or a vigilante. Can't tell which one right now, running the brand new Shaolin skin. Dryce, though, in the back line as Knessa hasn't had any rhythm. They've been pushing back very far, and it's Bitey in the front lines as the Ruckus.
Random Noob holding it down, though. Going to be putting a lot of damage into this Ruckus, and the cauterized pressure isn't going to be strong enough right now, and that's what's allowing Bitey to get away with this. But that's just for the time being. Dryce returning to the point here is putting some pressure, forcing Bitey to fall back and regroup with his squad.
Woo! Got him. Great vision there. Prince Danny TV slayed by Random Noob TV. Triple kill for Random Noob TV, and he's looking for the Quadra. Is he going to get it? Trying to go around. Wi-Fi shooting. Wi-Fi will finish the shot. Very clutch plays there by Wi-Fi. Denial Esports still behind as Swarm have overtaken the objective.
Has the Heat Haze available to contest if he needs it, but both tanks are now back. Random Noob will not get that Dragon Punch back, will not retain any charge. Stolzy finds Dryce, Hexafire on the point. Bitey crushing this Fernando shield, but Vandy will get shut down. Huge plays from Prince Danny.
That Heat Haze, putting Shaolin into an invisible state, can be so powerful because you just don't know where the shots are coming from. You don't know whether it's safe to go up into the air or not, as the Accursed Arm is taken advantage of. And now as he gets healed up, Prince Danny TV and the boys of Denial Esports have moved ahead on Stone Keep.
Have the Seismic Crash, have the King Bomb, so another Wombo combo that could be really impactful here. We could take a look at the damage charts. I'd be curious to see where Dryce is sitting. Pretty far down, just barely over Vandy right now, trying to stay ahead of Stolzy as well. Not doing super bad, but just not a great Knessa map in my eyes.
No, not really, and you know, not the worst, but not the best. We know that Timber Mill, Frozen Guard, those really seem to suit her. Stone Keep not had the proven first pick or counter pick guarantee if you don't leave the flanker open. You know, all these things where you see Knessa sometimes come through if the scenarios are great, even Fish Market. But yeah, Stone Keep, the verdict's still out on that one. However, Stolzy goes down. Denial, Swarm, trying to make sure that the verdict isn't out on this game, but so far, the push has not stalled.
Heat Haze again ready to go for Prince Danny, and conversion is a possibility now as the very staggered picks coming through. Actually, nice bunny hop. Dryce does take down Prince Danny, giving some semblance of hope for the boys of Swarm. Random Noob is too low. Conversion goes through. No contest comes through.
Wow. Look at that combo. Well done, just didn't get anything for it.
I think they thought that contest was about to happen. If Random Noob, instead of just staying up in the sky, maybe giving his team just that bare bones second contest on the payload, could have been enough, but no use crying over spilt milk here. Ari does spend not only the convergence, but the King Bomb from Stolzy came out as well. Swarm could look at that as a benefit heading into this round. 2 less ultimates they have to worry about, and they've got 3 of their own, almost a 4th with the Immortal here, so could be a good time to take a team fight. They've got the comeback mechanic as well. This game is far from over for you Swarm fans out there.
Wi-Fi on the Master Riding. He'll take to the battlefield and get to the point a little faster than anyone else on this in this game, and so he's going to go straight there. He's got a wall to set up and just keep his space. This is his point for now till OB51 when Ash comes out, but he will pop the Earthen Guard, and he will have some words with Random Noob TV, who will finish that argument very curtly and say that no, we're going to have to back off. We're going to give this to Amos for now.
All right, going confidently onto this point just to contest and prevent that capture point bleed that can come through, and there's plenty of damage to slay Amos. Now, Prince Danny was diving the backline, it looks like. Got a big grouping, cute stun there. Not going to do a whole bunch against Bitey on a 12 streak right now. On the Ruckus, really good positioning as well. Dryce not under some pressure right now. Could look to try and carry this team fight, but Bitey's trying to get there, trying to get in his face.
That's the benefit of Aerial Assault Ruckus here. He can get to the high ground, get to the low ground, the Hexafire, a Knessa in the back line, and that is just exactly what he's going to do for the team. Planted almost gets a Mr. Hayes taken down by Prince Danny TV. The withdraw here to try and stun away anything, and Random Noob TV up into the air. Danny and Noob, who's going to get the last shot? Danny will come out ahead. he's going to win the TV war for today.
Now, so much still in the tank for Denial. A lot of people left alive. Into Planet, beautifully timed. And he's starting to hit his stride on this Shaolin. Immediately 180 impale stun onto the head. Hunter Knessa. Danny going massive in that fight for Denial.
He's an excellent Shaolin player. There's no other way to say it. He's got great impales and can absolutely change a fight with his accuracy of his planets. There's another one onto Random Noob TV. Man, he just makes it seem like he wants everyone to be watching his channel. That's what he's looking for, ratings, 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 but it is definitely going the way of Denial Esports with his play.
Bandy looking for an angle in this backline right now. Hasn't gone too big for his squad just yet. Stolzy on the Bomb King is a pretty good answer. Stolzy seems like he's been babysitting the backline a fair amount. Dragon Punch going to be wound up, coming through as well. Bitey's a good target. Anyone from that Dread Serpent's a good target. There's a nice quick 1-2 punch, and Nara's caught out all by herself. Make it the triple kill. Bandy and Dryce throw their hats into the ring as well, cleaning up the remaining 2 members of Denial.
The primetime special on Random Noob TV just stole all the viewers from Prince Danny, and so he gets a little bit of a last laugh in this engagement, but it's not the last laugh in the push. There's so much more time left, and that's my worry. They just haven't shown the consistency to really stop Denial ever since those first great moments on Bright Marsh, and this is where they're really going to have to dig deep and stick their feet into the ground.
Coming through with a convergence right now. It's just going to pull in Random Noob, but that's a lot of value when you're looking at Swarm's overall composition. Bandy goes down quickly thereafter from Stolzy's pressure. Heat Haze into the back line. Dryce is in a bad spot. Doesn't even really matter. Danny does miss a clutch shot, allowing Dryce to stay alive. Payload is coming down to the wire, however.
That could be the difference maker right there, but he gets the first shot onto Dryce, and that often determines who wins the Shaolin Knessa battle, who gets the first shot. They're both hitting for a lot. Shaolin can basically 2-shot a Knessa. Knessa can basically 1-shot or 2-shot the Shaolin. So very, very important to be ahead in your positioning against your opponent.
Looking for their series win here. Moving on to the finals. Denial. Not a whole lot of left room to cover there. Random Noob doesn't get stunned, so he's going to be able to stay alive for the time being. Cute fire range.
Wow.
It's too close, however. It doesn't matter. The direct impact. There's a Hexafire on the point. Bitey looking for conversion. They're going to find it as well. You know, just maybe a breakdown of communication there. No one left to contest for the Swarm. They're going to head down to the 3rd place match. Hope's still alive for them, but they have to find the W there.
Yeah, so this is one that, you know, could have gone their way if they had handled business early. They just got to wait and close late. Make sure that they can get it done towards the end of the day.
Not a whole lot to say here. Strong performance from Denial in general. I think the overarching storyline is that Swarm, being the newer team that they are, haven't been playing together very long. A week is not enough time for them to formulate a new strategy against Denial, whereas Denial, a week is plenty of time to figure out how to dismantle this kind of one-trick squad that is, you know, albeit, to be fair, brand new to the scene. They found one thing that works for them, and you might as well have one way to find wins in a game that gets you to the top, that gets you, you know, on broadcast, than just try to be, you know, okay at everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely choosing to master one opportunity is sometimes a lot better, most of the times a lot better than trying to be average at every single thing that comes along your way. So they're putting the right time in, and I think that this is a very good hope for them in the future, but they do have to work on being flexible in the draft, being able to, I think, just put people on different situations, not rely so much on the Drogos like we mentioned, and still have some success. That's going to be it for this semifinal. It's the finals now. It's what you expected to see. Odin's Chosen versus Denial coming up right after this short break. See you then. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here. Evan Rayner, Rain Day, Nick Keogh, High Risk, Pretty Hair, cast in the action. It's the finals of the Paladins game, North America, week 4. And we have got so many cool things going forward. We've got a third-place game that means a lot for those teams trying to get in and out. Swarm, they've been highlight reel for us, and if they win, they're able to move through. But we've also got Denial and Odin-Chosen, two teams like the historic rivalry in Europe, facing off yet again.
Yeah, their seedings are locked in. Bright Marsh is the first map, and not a whole lot on the line here, but that just means we're in for a really fun series. I think hopefully maybe some Sky or something spicy. And these are two teams that are already spicy in their draft, so I'll be very surprised if they don't put on a show.
That is true. Well, Bright Marsh is up. It's time for the picks and bans. Let's head over to the champion draft. And no picks and bans. We don't have a ban yet.
Yeah.
That's coming. It's coming.
Who's going to get the ban? I wonder if we'll do just one ban, or I guess both teams have to have a ban.
Let's do 12 bans each team.
12 bans each team.
Yeah.
Force the Sky pick every series.
Exactly. 3-on-3.
The hand of God.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I like that. Good pick. They picked the map.
They're thinking, man.
They picked Bright Marsh.
In addition to the standings being locked in, they don't have to show anything else. Neither of these teams are trying to show anything at this point. And
Nick, I'm making a call.
Why not just have a surprise inside?
Let's just go into the game. Screw it. Let's just go. I don't want to see the draft. Production?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. If he says so. So Dosup's playing Inara this time around. Mother's Grace for him. Evil Eye on Combustible. Drogos, Cuss QT on the Maldamba. War Doom on Barrack. You boring butts. I drop bodies on Reprieve Eevee.
All right. Next map that they're playing seriously. Well, what has gone wrong here? Mortal Reach, Ceres for Arai. Aerial Assault, Ruckus for Bitey. Stolzy on the Accelerant Bomb King. Wi-Fi Makoa with Pluck, and Prince Dane TV on the Darkstalker Legendary for Androxus.
2 cauterizes for both teams, 1 wrecker for both teams. Only difference here is Dosup's on Inara with the Master Riding heading off. He's going to be the first one to the point.
I like that purple. She's looking good as she rides into battle. Very graceful. Ooh. Mother's Grace Legendary giving her the damage reduction. And, oh boy, you know who else needs some damage reduction here? It's this Bomb King. But boy, oh boy, he has stayed alive longer than you would have thought. Solzy kind of having 9 lives there. But he does go down eventually. 42% for Odin-Chosen now.
Bitey, the difference maker here, gets out after getting his kill. Will survive. Whiffle's pretty low. Arai's pretty low. Going to be the first one to go down in this secondary. Gets nice blink through the window there. Bodies with a little bit of style. No ice block, however, so getting aggressive will be his last mistake.
That's true. He just blinks in with so much style and they can't finish off the kill. Gets one great shot. Solzy, on the other hand, 95 health to his name. Able to heal back up. He has just been playing at dangerous levels, but he gets the kill on the Evil Eye to maybe turn things around for Denial.
It's topped off. Cuss Cutie barely escapes with his life. Stun tries to come through the window, but it's not where anybody was trying to find their way through. Dosup's eating a ton of punishment from this Bomb King from above. Gorgeous angles. Bodies barely gets into that ice block. He will top himself off, but Bitey pumps so much damage in alongside Stolzy that it doesn't even matter. Odin-Chosen, while at 99% on the point, are not in control right now.
They've got to get the healer out. That's the big key. That can be the game changer for them, and it can also be the game changer for the sustain. Inara getting healed versus Inara without getting healed is a big difference. And there's Cuss Cutie. The Slither not available after he gets stunned out, but he stays alive. Finally going down to Prince Danny.
Keeps himself alive. Whoa! Prince Danny with a colossal reversal.
Catch him.
Just deletes bodies right out of the gate there. The King Bomb rolls through. No kills from it just yet, but a couple members poked pretty low. There's a nice response. Prince Danny with 4 in this engagement.
Ash, catch him. Ash gotta catch these hands. Prince Danny coming through with the reversal and then the 2-step double kill in the air. This man putting on a dance show, didn't sell tickets to anybody. He just forced them all to attend.
It's his parents. They had to come watch him.
That's right.
2 minutes remain here, trying to get one to conversion. Bodies on the Eevee. Can he turn things around? Hasn't had a great performance on it today. Only played it once before, but still not having an impact on this game thus far.
Stolzy getting healed up by Arai. 3 streak for the healer. Prince Danny TV just absolutely making great use of his reversals. Lovely little play here. Coming and being set up by him. No one sees him sneaking onto the right side. Dosup's is very low. This is where Androxus wants to fight. Up in the air, Evil Eye gets a headshot. Again, Prince Danny TV showing up big.
Evil Eye's lifespan is very limited in these team fights. There's the hands going up. Woo! Back on the War Doom. 900 damage there. Bitey cleans up the kill as well. Body's left all alone. We'll be able to contest for a little bit. Trying to lock down Arai, but forced into ice block early. he's going to be out of this fight for the next couple of seconds.
The tale has been Denial Esports take the lead over Odin's Chosen, but will they continue to take that lead? Odin's Chosen have gotten the better end of Denial every week so far and really been able to show that they are the ones who are at the top of this table. But Denial still showing great signs of health here as the push continues.
Minute 10 remaining. Into the ice block early. Again, Convergence comes out, but Bitey's going to have to deal with bodies. He can't really afford to put too much pressure on the front side of this fight with his Eevee dumping shots into him.
Combustible Drogo's is going to make a lot of difference here in the back end of this fight, making sure he can get the displacement that he needs. Push successful, though. Evil Eye has no chance to respond, and that is all Denial Esports.
Big issue there actually was Dosups, I believe, throws the wall down, cuts himself off from being able to contest the point, so the payload inches forward, immediately destroying the wall, but at the same time giving him the ability to contest again. Now he's just basically caught out without a wall cooldown. Hexafire comes through, and Doe's got nothing to block it with, so maybe a little bit of a misstep there for the Inara player. Bitey gets a lot of value out of his Hexafire. Still going into Chronos, however, just to keep himself as mobile as possible. Odin's Chosen, despite being down 0-2, do get their level 2 offensive items on the ground here. Bodies will have the Caught 2 as well as War Doom. Evil Eye gets the Wrecker 2, but shielding not a big factor for Denial.
Androxus hunched over on the horse, hunting his prey. Looking for the right opportune
nice
moment,
angle.
goes right above, and there it is. Oh, he's trying to two-step yet again, but cannot find the numbers. He's not able to get the exact quantity of damage he got off before, but it doesn't mean he can't get the same amount of kills. One down for him, looking for the second. Doesn't have a dash yet.
This is the first time his boots have hit the ground this round, though, so that's the coolest thing about this Bright Marsh map. Finding a way to stay airborne for a long time is Prince Danny, finding a lot of kills. And while that didn't frag anyone, the Accursed Arm did kind of split up the back line and I think forced Cuss Cutie into a rough spot without Slither.
Yeah, and I mean, it forces a lot of defensive cooldowns, like you mentioned. And his boots, they're not made for walking, they're made for flying. Stolzy, these bombs, they're made for bombing. He's going to try and finish off the Inara, but not enough damage. With the damage reduction, turning the 3,000 into 1,500 or even less. And it's not impactful enough. Evil Eye cleans up.
Dosups survives. That's the big key there as well. Finding 2 kills in that engagement, turning things around. 97% for Odin's Chosen. They are going to have that comeback mechanic and quickly take the payload in their favor. And they are definitely a team that can come back from being down 2-0. They could easily find the conversion in this round. Do not count Odin's Chosen out just yet.
Not only the CC immunity against the stun of the King Bomb, but the damage reduction as well. I'm just realizing how, on so many layers that can mitigate what Bomb King is trying to do. You usually think of like, oh, she doesn't get stunned, but just the amount that damage is so much less impactful. I mean, that's a little bit more, that's 2 shots, less than 2 shots from an Eevee now. It's not really like, oh, an ultimate that's really changing my TTK that hard.
I mean, frankly, at this level of play, King Bomb is more often used for the stun. The damage is decent, it's 2,500, but it has aggressive fall off, and a lot of times, like we said, at this level, you would rather stun multiple people than worrying about getting that 2,500 damage onto one person.
Exactly, and so they not only don't get the advantage of that, they don't get any of the damage following through really to make an impact in Nara's lifespan, especially when she's getting healed and cauterize immunity during that entire period. Very good reversal, preempting 1,300 into the face of Barrick, but he can't get up, and he just is a little too short for that task. Eyedrop Bodies chases him down.
Good Ice Storm potential here. Will lock down Araj. For the time being, he's barely able to wobble out of that one. Whiffle already does go down, so it splits Denial up, and Evil Eye will claim Araj's life. Stolzy is in a bad spot, has nowhere to go. Grumpy Bomb will come down. Won't find any stun, but a good momentum swing for Odin's Chosen.
This is not what they wanted. They've given so much energy and effort into putting it a 2-0 lead for them in this match. Now to find themselves at the precipice of having that lead diminish to nothing could be bad. Great combination with the convergence and the Accursed Arm for Prince Danny TV, and it's seeming like it could snowball into more. It will. One more kill for him. Could it be a third? Prince Danny TV going to be denied by Stolzy there.
Hexafire comes off the top rope as well. Bitey using 3 charges just to get straight up into the air. Only 1 to go forward, but it was all he needed. Landed almost with pretty much pinpoint accuracy. Hexafire already let loose. 19 seconds now, and this is a strong zone from Denial, and frankly, Odin's Chosen will probably be able to get the overtime started because they do have the Eevee. You can see Body's already moving in, looking for the angle to contest. He's in the back line, but can he find his way out now?
Dome Shield and Dragon Punch, like you mentioned. Seismic Crash available as well. These ultimates are so important for the pace of this next fight. Overtime is here. Combustible cannot be picked up, and Wi-Fi goes in, and he turns on his internet connection and turns off that of Evil Eyes. He's stuck there without 4G, LTE, or anything to get him out of dodge. A nice shield from War Doom, not dying as usual. Overtime still ticking away, but Stolzy and the boys have been pushing Odin's Chosen back quite well.
Gonna try to hang on here. Bodies gets into the ice block, but just so much burst damage, and Odin's Chosen, they try to keep it going, but I like the call, I think, just to cut the losses. War Doom's not dropping Dome Shield or anything. They're not going all in for this one.
Yeah.
They're going to move on to this next round. Still have the comeback mechanic enabled, and you know, that could be a better look at the end of the day. If you would rather keep your ultimates, go in with the comeback mechanic enabled, or go into a team fight 2-2 with no ultimates, you're kind of going to end up at 3-2 other way. This way around, though, Odin's Chosen have the chance to actually tie things up if they can get a conversion.
Very interesting going into this, where they'll decide to use these ultimates. We saw the immediate pressure from Prince Danny TV last time, but now he doesn't have the Accursed Arm to follow up on, considering they were so just focused on denying that push, and they've done it. Now esports really now in the moment of being able to change the tide of this series and take the first game on Brightmarsh, but they've got to win this point.
Tank's headed straight to the back line. Body's going to get slowed out using those dashes to get up and away. Stolzy into the back line, finds a big stun off the back of some beautifully placed cooldowns there. Trying to escape. Ring around the rosy. Dose up, you too, Slowzy.
Wow, screw that. I would be so upset if that was me. Dosa's probably struggling with thoughts about life after not being able to finish that kill. But the wall will come through and hold it off for Odin's Chosen yet again. 78% now. Stolzy's trying to make a way in.
Can they get there in time, though? The comeback mechanic's enabled, so they're capturing it a lot quicker than I think Denial gave them credit for. As a result, they come away with the payload, retain the Dragon Punch as well. Bitey's in there goofing off, but he's going to get stunned out and probably burned to the ground very shortly after.
Bitey doesn't like roofs. That's not what Aerial Assault Ruckus is meant to do, and so he gets obliterated by just standing too close to the edge. Almost gets him with the air shot. Prince Danny TV will fall now and just regroup with his squad, make sure they come out as 5 and can defend successfully.
One shot on the Stolzy, one shot on the Bitey. Gonna have to see himself out of this fight. Popping the reprieve just to heal up. Salvo's primed and loosed. Dragon Punch could be as well, but Whipple with another good hook, actually saved by what looks like a little furnace here on Brightmarsh. That hook is going to break. Evil Eye will escape with his life.
So good by Wi-Fi, though, continuing his impact on Makoa to be able to hook out Evil Eye and change the Drogos pick and its effectiveness. And there's Prince Danny TV just cleaning up the scraps. Almost gets taken out mid-air by eye drop bodies. A very dangerous EV play. Magisterial shot there. Finishing off Prince Danny TV when he thought he was safe.
Very cool. I don't even know if he was going for that, but just the angle that that shot hit the ground. Got to give him credit there. 3 for 3 connect onto a ride, claim his life, blinking back into the back line. Odin's Chosen have already found conversion, though. Bodies, the second, I mean, they're looking so good, you know, and eye drop Bodies was not really having a great impact in those first couple of rounds. The second he hits his stride on this Eevee, these team fights are looking very different.
He's looking glamorous as well. I don't know if it's a new skin. I don't know what it is about his look, but
never know.
Eye drop Bodies, he's just very star glamorous right now, rocking the brand new Eevee skin that came out a few patches ago, and making sure that he looks the part as well. He's got to fulfill this role as a flanker. Cuss Cutie taking the backseat as the captain, the healer role yet again after playing the damage dealing role for the last 3 weeks, is really putting the onus on Eye drop Bodies and Evil Eye to carry the weight of this fight.
Cuss brings something you can't teach to a team, and just comms and leadership and morale.
Good looks?
Yeah, that as well. Very cute.
All right.
Cute BB.
That's right. Love Cuss Cutie back here, and he definitely loves being a part of these high-level esports. He's already secured first place, as well as his team, Odin's Chosen. That doesn't mean they want to give up a game to their rivals. It's 3-3. It all comes down to this. Great gore for Cuss, but he's going to fall down. Stolzy's going to pick off his former teammate, and he's going to put him into the ground. Now the Ancient Rage from Wi-Fi trying to change the tide, and he will. Dosips falls to the anchor.
No, it's a nice snag coming out of the ice blocks. Not enough, though, to claim Body's life. Denial are content to just sit on the point with what they've already got from this fight. 5 members still alive. Odin's Chosen now have to find a way to get back in here. 54% and climbing to 33.
Stolze fighting there with the Barrack. He's going to go into the King Bomb. Just wants the frontliner down. Surely this will take Wardoom out of the fight, and Stolze can stay alive. That's a big win for them. Grumpy Bomb onto the objective soon. No, not yet. Forced on kill, and I drop bodies. Denial Esports looking fantastic, and Stolze still alive. Back to full health.
Escapes with his life. Arai tops him off 90% and continuing to climb here. No answer from Odin's Chosen means Denial will come away with the victory here in game number 1. Very solidly executed team fight, as well as Wardoom not in the ideal situation, but Barrack not a character. Once that fight kind of happens and you're caught out there and all your team's dead, there's not a lot he could have done to really get himself back in there. I think he was just hoping and praying that Denial forgot about him.
Yeah, and they didn't, and that's good heads-up play by Stolze. We mentioned how, we have differing play styles happening. Cutie taking the healing role, and now Stolze playing the Bomb King. Not something we usually see, but getting better and better as these games go on.
Finding a lot of damage there towards the end of the game. I drop bodies. 19 and 10 on his EV, 70k damage. Good stuff from him. 15 and 14 though, 67,000. Not really as much as we're used to seeing from Evil Eye, but he's had a lot of pressure of him, as most Drogos players kind of had going into this weekend, because he is sort of the key to their team fights, especially when he's running that combustible. He's not looking to put himself out. Prince Danny had a pretty lights out game as well on his Androxus. 37 and 6. Great kill to death ratio. 7 solo kills, 14 streak. Lights out.
Yeah, that is beyond what anyone in that game had. I think the highest next was 2, 3 maybe solo kills. So Prince Danny TV came to play big time. I said he was doing, the Godslayer 2-step up in the sky, just getting those double kills and making it happen, man. And they need to slow his roll big time here. Put his feet onto the ground, so to speak, and let him know he's not in Kansas anymore. But Stone Keep, that's a beautiful place to travel to. That's where the next map will be for this set. What's Denial looking to do? What's Odin's Chosen looking to do here?
We'll have to see who's got first pick. I think Odin shows it, so Denial should have it this time around. Ruckus has traditionally been their first pick on this map in particular. Is it important enough to this set? It will be. Denial stick with the Ruckus first pick on Stonekeep.
All right, so they'll take that away, and Odin's Chosen will be content to take the Androxus away, which to me almost trades into the favor of Odin's Chosen here, knowing that the Ruckus wasn't so key to their game plan in particular.
They take the Drogos as well. Good 1-2 punch here. Saris and Nara probably going to be what Denial answered back with. It's exactly what they took. This is the same draft thus far that they just played Swarm with.
Yeah.
Odin's Chosen kind of putting themselves in the same position. But the switch up here,
Nice.
it will be the Bomb King. I don't know if you need that, though. Odin's Chosen probably aren't going to take a Bomb King, so why take it now? Why prioritize that now? Denial could have last picked Bomb King.
That's a very good point. They could have, and they do lose the Sarah, so if that comes back to haunt them, maybe they'll be looking at this draft and saying, that's what we need to do next time. But Maldamba, a very good healer. I was going to mention last time, Saris with only 4,995 damage dealt, Maldamba around 30,000. Though he gets less healing, he does contribute more of an offensive role to the team.
It's a lot of gourd bleed through over the course of that game. It's just going to be more control, I think, than damage, but enough gourds over the course of a game. Tyra, though, will be what they look to. With 2 tanks, Tyra can succeed. No real flank pressure unless it's Stolze that decides to dive on this Bomb King.
Yeah.
Tyra, cool choice here.
You say that, and then here comes Aerial Assault Ruckus.
That is very true.
In the air on Tyra's
100%.
bootay. Aerial Assault Ruckus for Bitey here. The Lightning Orc. Ripened Gourd, Maldamba for Arai. Accelerant Bomb King for Stolze. Mother's Grace and Nara for Wi-Fi. And Recurve Shaolin for Prince Danny TV yet again.
Tosup's back on Mercy Kill for his Tyra Combustible alongside the Morale Boost for Evil Eye. Mortal Reach for Cuties. Saris. Darkstalker for Eye Drop Bodies. And Architectonics for the Wardoom. 2 cauterizes. Do they go for the Wrecker? Probably not. Emitter's only 3,000 at base, but, the big thing I think for Emitter is not that it's just 3,000, but the cooldown's pretty short. I'm pretty sure it's the only shield in the game because it is a personal shield that goes on cooldown when you use it as opposed to when it expires. And Bitey goes for Chronos 3, so it's up often.
Yeah, going to be an extremely valuable asset for them, and Bitey is going to be taking advantage of that. Stunned out is Cutie. Bitey gets War Doom, and maybe that was the reason the Grumpy Bomb doing so much work, allowing Saris to stop that healing, and that could be why Stolze and Prince Danny TV collapse and get 2 more kills in this fight.
Now completely cut off from the rest of their squad. Odin's Chosen have all 5 members in between 2 and 3 respectively for Odin's Chosen, just trying to stay alive. Cutie and Evil Eye putting some hurt onto Stolze. They're completely aware of it. Evil Eye does get the pickup onto Stolze though, so now it could be Denial that are getting pinched.
A little weird. Thought Stolze was going to immediately Poppy Bomb away. That's kind of what I would have expected most Bomb King players to do at that moment, but he stays. I like the patience. He's willing to, you know, say, hey, is there a better choice? Do I have to leave? I could use this a little later, but gets bursted down by the Drogos yet again. Probably won't make that same mistake twice. I drop bodies staying alive. But for how long? He's at 489 health and hiding like a horror game here away from anyone on the side of Denial.
Prince Danny not under a lot of pressure right now, putting good tags onto everyone, sticking them at about half health, making it easy pickings for Stolze and even Bitey that are looking to dive here in the back line. 2 minutes and 23. Cutie's in a rough spot. He's going to go down to Stolze and Denial with a lot of momentum on their side. Earth and Guard pop walls up and are trying to stay alive.
Bitey getting hit with the combustible. Oof. 3 members getting hit with that combustible fire spit, and it just does so much damage, and the displacement is beautiful. Stolze luckily jumping up and down underneath the damage coming out from Evil Eye. And will he escape? Seems like he will with his life. Great healing and combination there by the communication of Arai and Stolze to stay alive.
Arai is keeping a ton of people alive. There's the Dragon Punch. It comes through, but Whiffle somehow wiggles his way. The Whiffle Wiggle is strong right now, and he's going to live.
Do the Whiffle Wiggle. I love it. I love it. He's a master at it. Get wrecked, says Dosips, but they've pushed it to about 60% or so before getting to the stopping point of this objective, and I think that that's a win for Denial here. They're taking command of this game too, when usually they are on the back foot in these sets.
Absolutely looking much stronger this week around, and just differences in the draft favoring them. A lot of damage coming through. Bitey could get knocked off if he's not careful. He's going to stay alive for right now. He's fighting in the gourd. Good spot. Arai bailing his team out again.
This healer is just doing so much work, and that's what Moldava brings to a game. And here's what Xeris brings to a game. Convergence coming through with less than 5,000 damage. That's not going to matter much for her. Cutie will go down, feeling maybe the impact of not being on Moldava, not able to control the fight as much as he's used to.
Arai is controlling this fight, though. He's bailed a number of Denial Wolves out from trouble, and off the back of that momentum, 100% credit for that round goes to Arai, in my opinion.
The thing about Prince Danny TV and Stolze that Denial have in having these two on their roster is when they're both playing well, you cannot take your eyes off of either of them. That is the problem. They've put these players who on Shaolin, Prince Danny TV is absolutely crisp. He is perfection with those impales and the planets. And Stolze, when he's really rolling on this Bomb King, cannot be ignored. What do you do?
Absolutely. It's tough, especially with Arai keeping everyone alive as he has been. Stolze's been pretty patient in terms of waiting for good angles and being set up in a good way as well by Prince Danny's accurate tags. You know, 1,000 damage puts anyone in a kill range. I mean, even some full health targets are always within kill range for that 1-2 punch from the Bomb King. It's the only real dive that they've got, but Denial are executing it well.
Oh, look at this. Doesn't see him at all. Heat Haze immediately knowing that he's going to have the advantage in positioning. That's sometimes all that matters, but I don't like the way he's shooting there. That's more like it gets the shot. Eye drop bodies will get the kill, though, and as far as Prince Danny TV has contributed to this fight, he'll have to go back to base for now.
The Heat Haze was enough to force everyone from Odin's Chosen out, and comeback mechanics enabled, but yet to step on the point. A lot of the tanks are falling low right now. Bodies pops the accursed arm. Stolze gets off the high ground. Nice Poppy Bomb, but it's not enough. Those Architectonics turrets are going to be able to hit scan him out of the sky.
Now War Doom's feeling comfortable, and Odin's Chosen feeling the same way. Wi-Fi going down, and that's no tank on the side of Denial, except for Bitey's aerial assault ruckus. They've got to deal with this dragon. He's looking to take down one. He's going to get some pressure, but pursuing might put him in a bit of danger, and he will fall thanks to Stolze's follow-up. But 97% and the objective captured already for Odin's Chosen.
Thank you, comeback mechanic. One fight, and that's all Odin's Chosen needed to scoop that payload up. Bitey goes down as well off the back of the Dragon Punch. Was it too much spent, though? Plenty of time for Odin's Chosen to get these ultimates charged back up. Wardoom eats a lot of burst damage, and that's Bomb King Shaolin right there. A lot of damage could come through. 2,000 from one shot from each of those characters. It's a big swing in your health pool. Wardoom reacts appropriately, however, and is able to stay alive.
Wi-Fi getting healed up by Arai, controlling the pace of this fight with his heals.
Calm before the storm
the
right
stuns,
now.
everyone just defending and staying content to try to find a pick onto another team and just move in after that. The man advantage is important in Paladins, but right now could just be the Dread Serpent to kick things off.
Arai hits a decent sized one. There's one kill from the Way of Denial, and there's another. Bodies is extremely low. We're going to have to back up on this Androxus. And again, Arai setting up an easy team fight win for Denial. Does go down there towards the end. How much of his ultimate was he able to spool back up before going down? Already back to 20%.
Well, look at this, what just happened. Dosip's in your camera, who is playing the Tyra, gets aggressed on by Bitey. Bitey then takes all the attention of Dosip's. They try and win this DPS battle, which Dosip's wins, but then Prince Danny TV, long range, finishes it off, gets a double kill. This is the danger that happens when you've got a lineup that's able to pressure out the low mobility of Tyra with a big body tank that can pull a lot of eyes and attention and leave Stolzy and Prince Danny TV in the backline free.
Big tags coming out. Wrecker blasting through that barricade. Prince Danny with the first frag. Dosip's again gets picked off. And there is no flanker, but you know, finding his way into the back line. Good angle there from Stolzy as well. We'll go down to Evil Eye. Evil Eye trying to escape with his life, but pinpoint Maldamba shots bring him extremely low.
Almost got him.
He escapes with the life. Arai. Wisely, though, not chasing that kill. Doesn't get picked.
That took a lot of wisdom. You're right about that. Sometimes you chase those kills just because you're like, I cannot believe you got away. But it's better to survive and fight another day. Sometimes refusing to fight is the only way to win a fight because you don't have to win it on the pace you think you do. There's still 15 seconds left for Denial Esports to push this in.
Trading out 1-for-1 is not going to be worth it for the defending team. Their respawns are longer than the offensive team here. Or in this case, it is Odin's Chosen on the offense here.
Yeah.
Overtime started. This is going to have to be one hell of an overtime from Odin's Chosen. They've already lost 2. I don't know if they can pull it back, but we'll have to see.
What's even better, nice planted falling from the ground as well, making sure he just finishes off the shield with the most haste possible. Let's just phrase it that way, and gets the job done quickly, not wasting any time. 3-1 for Denial. Even Arai, despite showing the patience of not chasing, shows the awareness of where they sit on the defensive end. They don't have to get kills. They just have to stall out time, and the objective is on their side.
So all 10 ultimates in the game ready to go. Comeback mechanics still favoring Odin's Chosen, so they will be capturing the point at a rate of 4% per tick as opposed to 3% per tick. Denial in the lead. That's how fast they will go. Top damage, though, still Dosip's. A lot of tanks for him to shoot at, just poke at, mercy kill, as well as the fire being percentage-based damage. It's going to be chunking both Bitey and Wiffle. Bitey's kind of been flying around, though. He's not been on the point a whole lot.
That's right. So it'll be interesting to see where they all position. One big kill here could be important, but a lot of resiliences coming out on the side of Odin's Chosen, meaning they'll be able to get out of crowd control and reduce not only the duration of that crowd control, but the extremity of that crowd control quickly. And I drop bodies, though, paying no crowd control needed. That's straight damage. Here's Dosip's with his own response.
Gig hits the gas pedal. Arai with the peel yet again, bailing out 2 of his teammates. Almost finds the frag here. Dosip's barely stays alive. Could be a big trade here. Nice dome shield from Wardoom. Nice stun from Arai.
I cannot believe he hit that stun, and he is still alive. This is ridiculous. Arai is playing out of his mind, and this is giving Denial Esports a chance for the victory.
Wow, that's going to be the swing. Wardoom goes down. Arai with the big plays. Stolzy gets super blasted, though, as he rolls around the corner in the King Bomb here. 66% for Denial. Can they hang on? They need to win another half team fight to keep control of this point.
Hexafire's available, and that's big. They didn't use all the ultimates. King Bomb was used. Oh, what a wall by Wi-Fi. Get out of here. And that is going to maybe seal the deal of this game. Evil Eye denied. And it seems like the Hexafire used as well. 93% for Denial, and they could just be about to win. Never mind, they do win this game against their rivals. 2-0 in the set.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. The role players are stepping up today. Wiffle with his hooks in the previous set against Swarm, and Arai with not only heals, Dread Serpent, stuns. Everything in the kit is firing right now for Arai. He is having the impact, and maybe that's why they let Saris go. Arai can play and have an impact with either.
95,000 healing. Only 2 deaths, the big number for me.
Nuts.
And for me, also the big play at the end.
We don't track lives saved.
You can't track lives saved, which he saves his teammates with the Dread Serpent. He forces Dosups to go around the corner, and he finishes off Dosups with the perfect stun. Just reactionary, 180. Perfect. I mean, that saved the game. There's no number that can quantify how valuable that was to them winning this.
Yeah, because the Dread Serpent caught the tail end, I think, of that crossfire from Dosups as well. There was a lot, and I mean, great walls as well. Whiffle wall the first half, and then Arai was there to kind of peel the second half, nullifying a lot of what that Tyra is there to do, is just gas pedal and shred these tanks. Wasn't able to do it, and as a result, the Wolfpack pull ahead 2 games to nothing. Serpent Beach is where they're going to look to close it out.
Well, it's a good map for both of these teams. You know, there's not too much to say about this one. Verticality, it's the name of the game, but let's head into the draft and see which champions they decide to work for first. Ruckus was taken as a preliminary choice for Denial Esports, but now will Odin's Chosen take it away? It looks like they will.
They're assuming that it is the staple to the strategy, but Denial confident, I think, in what they can bring to counter it out. Inara Androxus, I think, would be a good way to start this off. The healers aren't too high of a priority, and they are going to go for that one.
Androxus and Inara. Andrara and Androxus?
That's actually like kind of what I said.
Yeah, you did. That's what made me think about it. And
Androxus.
Andrara. Welcome to Georgia, Andrara. You playing with that Andrara, boy? Dangerous combination.
Barrack Saris locked in. Drogo scooped as well. The high prioritization of Barrack kind of throwing me for a loop. I don't like Barrack.
I mean, you don't like Barrack a lot, and I think a lot of the teams here have found a love for Barrack in the secondary frontliner role. He's just very simple. He's not really going to let you down. Like we said, he's a stay-at-home dad. He's got a 401k. The guy pays his bills. He's not doing anything flashy, but he's not going to let you down as far as a frontliner. He just brings a lot of all-around success and damage in shielding, in minimal survivability, and so he can contribute to the fight. Adds a little bit of damage as well with the Architectonics against the flankers. But right now, Denial Esports lineup is looking fantastic for what they want to do.
Yeah. Cassie Shaolin rounding things out. Will be exaction for Mr. Dosups this time around. Like him on the Cassie, though, more than the Tyra. Recurve for Evil Eye's Shaolin. Cuss Cutie will be on Mortal Reach. Saris, I drop bodies on Aerial Assault. Ruckus and Wardoom on Architectonics.
Arai on Ripen Gord Maldamba to start things off. See if he can keep having those MVP performances. Mother's Grace Inara for Bitey. Stolzy will be on the Accelerant Bomb King Legendary. Pluck Makoa for Wi-Fi. And it will be Prince Danny TV on the Androxus. The big key for me, Nick, starting into this, can they continue to have impact with Wi-Fi on Makoa without having the Drogos on the side of Odin's?
Bitey sitting on his item choice. It looks like not selecting anything just yet. Wants a little bit more time to think about it, figuring out what exactly he's going to need. And Barrack drops the turret, drops the shield, both fall, and now Barrack can't do anything in this team fight. What do you know?
I don't know. Look at this, though. That might have answered the question already. I mean, I drop bodies forced out of it after a great hook from Wi-Fi, and away from the half shell he goes. Onto the pluck, he will find all this damage whenever he pulls his target in, and that can give them a big swing in this tank battle. Stolzy content to just free fire in the back line.
Already 60% on the point as well. Back up onto the high ground. Gonna miss that. First blood finally falls. It will be Bitey. A lot of sticks coming through. Gonna put some hurt on eyedrop bodies, but he'll be fine for now.
What is the Elastic Man right here? He just pulls him around the corner. Wi-Fi just able to get a great hook onto eyedrop bodies, but Wardoom, but it will not prove to be successful yet. 2 tanks on the objective for Odin's Chosen now. 69% for Denial.
Long range hook, but it's not going to pay off. Wardoom punches Whiffle right in the face. No support from his squad. Stolzy goes down as well. Evil Eye finding his stride in this team fight. No real pressure. Allowed to free fire, and Odin's Chosen, they're bringing it back. So quickly closing the capture point gap.
Eyedrop body still on the objective. Maybe finally he will fall now. Evil Eye needed that kill, so he goes in the heat haze to stay invisible. Trying to find Arai, and that could be the big wrench in the plan. Nice impale arrow. Another one goes in, and the planet will finish him off yet again. Bitey with the final kill, but this looks to be going the way of Odin's Chosen thanks to a great play
Clutch, man.
off of Evil Eye.
Evil Eye carrying the majority of that weight in the team fight, getting it done pretty much by himself as well, just using the innate stealth available to him in his kit, as well as having Heat His available that early on in the game. You can see, you know, the King Bomb at 89%. Arai actually with the first one to charge his ultimate up wholly on Denial. Just kind of speaks to the type of day that he's having.
It absolutely does. Dread Serpent is available with Arai. He's going to be able to use it at maybe one of those clutch moments to dissuade any aggression after a big ultimate. You know that they've got the Seris Convergence. Throwing the Dread Serpent out after that could be a very valuable tool for them to keep his team alive.
Trying to stay alive here is Whiffle on his Inara. Excuse me. Not on his Inara. Nice. There's one for Stolzy in the back line. He's kind of caught out in a bad spot, though. Doseps cleans that one up easily. 1-for-1 right now.
That may not have been what he wanted. It does go to the advantage of Denial Esports since they're so close to being able to defend their payload, but it does just put them at a disadvantage in terms of numbers and allows that payload to creep ever forward. So right now their tank has been lost as well.
Putting a lot of damage in. Arai goes down 4 for nothing right now. Still rolling forward. Odin's Chosen. Have a King Bomb if you're Denial. Have 4 ultimates, Ancient Rage, Cursed Arm, Dread Serpent as well. Whoa, that's a lot of sticks right there on the eye drop bodies, but a beautiful emitter shield negates most of them.
Wow, Evil Eye takes Stolzy as well as he was about to go aggress down onto eye drop bodies, who has just been stubborn in terms of dying at all this entire time. And Inara forces the wall down.
Didn't take any damage.
But unfortunately, he'll just push him right into the payload spray, and that will be a 2-0 start for Odin's Chosen.
That's Ruckus, man. Good option to go toe-to-toe with Inara. Didn't take a ton of damage there. Bitey didn't have Wrecker online, so can't really punch through that emitter field. Big streaks right now for Odin's Chosen. Body's on a 13, the biggest of his squad. Ghost Cutie just barely going down, but still 5 ultimates available basically, as Doseps is just sitting at 92%. Odin's Chosen have everything they need to keep this ball rolling.
Prince Danny TV as well, not on the Shaolin, just doesn't have the same amount of damage and range that he did in the previous match, and that has been who hasn't showed up for me this game. I haven't seen any impact come from him, and it's hard because they've got a lot of emitter shields. They've got great healing from Seris Wardoom. He's going to be very protected. Not a lot of easy targets to just run up and finish off.
Yep, no Drogos in this game, and I think Denial were probably expecting that. But a wise switch up here. Pretty drastic switch in the comp, just putting bodies on this tank. He'll be able to avoid this Grumpy Bomb, hopefully. Just elects to eat that one, though. King Bomb comes through. A lot of crowd control. Just stunned that entire time. Bodies can't do anything.
And that's big, though. They do get a kill on the Bodies, and that's been a while since he has fallen. But they've got to get out of this group. They've got to go around the backside, get Evil Eye out of this fight. He's just free-firing a little bit too much, like we've seen all the Shaolins have the privilege to. And Stolzy, he takes the task onto himself. This withdrawal is not going to last too long. Stolzy takes down Evil Eye, and objective captured for Denial.
Too little, too late. Plenty of ultimates as well, and just no value there. Dome Shield, Hexafire, a lot of options for Odin's Chosen, but they don't go with any of them. And as a result, Denial take the payload back. Stolzy finds Cuss QD as a great angle for a double kill there. Bodies will fall. And now off to the races are Denial with similar momentum that Odin's Chosen used to find conversion and skipping leg day.
Skipping leg day is Stolzy. Skipping Poppy Bomb day, apparently. I'm not sure what exercise looks like in the Bomb King Kingdom. Will be interesting to find out, though, but just not enough strength to get up there yet. We'll probably try to claim the upper areas when he can, but right now content to go onto the bottom floor and finish off Wardoom. Doseps follows off, taking down the healer, and that's probably going to end this push more so than anything.
Really good angle as well. Body's just going to free fire into these tanks as they try to retreat. Whiffle will escape with his life, and now it's Bodies who might be in a rough spot. I don't think they kept track of him as he's gotten out of combat. He's starting to heal up. Whiffle's trying to escape with his life. Bitey, now almost full health just by getting out of combat, is going to continue to have an impact on this fight. Has the wall cooldown as well. Seismic Crash available if he continues to be collapsed on, but Odin's Chosen hit the invisible barrier right there and back up.
Very good wall by Bitey just to stall any pressure that was being applied by Odin's Chosen. Denial Esports with a minute now on the clock, just about to finish up this push. It hasn't gone to their, I think, imagination the way they probably planned it, but they're still kind of here able to move things forward. They've got to keep Arai alive, and he's got to keep having those big impact plays if they're going to do this.
Seismic Crash available. A lot of ultimates for Odin's Chosen to push this one home if they need it for their defense. Arai trying to keep Stolzy up, will bail him out, gets his Dread Serpent topped off as well, but no real angle right now for Denial to work with.
King Bomb's big, and also Stolzy, as he gets the wreckers going on in this game, is going to be able to bring down that emitter shield from Ruckus, so it won't be as valuable of a tool to mitigate those big damage moments. He does have Repulsor Field though, but no Inara to really counter out with the CC immunity.
Joseph's getting into the backline, already picking Stolze off. Now Booley's going to feel that pressure up on the high ground. He's going to go down, but Wardoom cleaned up Bitey. Draw Bodies is going to clean up Prince Danny as well. Only 10 seconds remain here. Looking like a strong, ultimate-less defense from Odin's Chosen.
And who's going to be the first to pop an ult? That's what I want to see.
It's going to be Whipple here with the Ancient Rage.
It might be, or they might give it up. Arise got to stay alive. These turrets are doing a lot of work. Great Dread Serpent there. I Drop Bodies doesn't take too much for it. Evil Eye and Cuss Cutie the only ones to find kills. Odin's Chosen doing a great job of defending, and this overtime looks kind of hopeless for Denial.
1,000 HP left. Stolze has no choice. He's the last remaining member of Denial. The defense holds and no ultimate spent for it. Arai, the only one spending an ultimate there. Seismic Crash came through a little bit earlier, but all things told, not the best Dread Serpent we've seen today from him. Has the credits to get a Chronos 3 online, but he goes for the Cauterize instead.
Interesting. I think the Cauterize has been playing a big, I think, role in the fact that they're able to have Ceres be as effective as she has been. There's no Inara to immune the Cauterize now. Rushing that is important in this matchup because it will really mitigate a lot of the sustain she gives to Wardoom and I Drop Bodies.
Hell of resilience coming through from Odin's Chosen as well. A lot of members hitting that level 2 rank now, and that's a big part of Denial's team fight. The King Bomb, the Grumpy Bomb, the Dread Serpent, the Reload Stun, even things like Seismic Crash from Inara are all big setups that make these team fights as easy as they have been for Denial. And now that type of setup is starting to fall off.
All the advances already uses, but a great wall. It's going to basically shut down all of that Hexafire. That was a great just heads-up veteran play there by Bitey. Prince Danny TV and Stolze trying to combine, but a lazy ult is not what he's been given. He gets one off the table. Prince Danny gets the other one, and Cuss Cutie doing a great job juking and jiving out of these bombs, but he will finally go down thanks to pressure from Inara.
Still, comeback mechanic enabled for Denial, so they're going to capture this very quickly. Strong zone. One more bomb's going to do it. Prince Danny credited with the kill. He snuck a shot in there to steal it away. But that's going to be probably the only team fight that Denial needed to snag this payload.
It is important, though. They have two big tanks that can do a lot of damage. They've got to be wary of that. And though no ultimates on the table, Prince Danny TV decides to use his just to make sure that I Drop Bodies falls down. That should seal the deal. And now he's free to roam onto Cuss Cutie. Evil Eye trying to protect the healer, but he's doing a great job of getting both of them down there.
Well
Prince Danny TV just carrying more than his own weight.
Well played there. Forces out 2 just for his own one. Eats a lot of damage, though, from Joseph's up on the high ground. 2 minutes remain. Plenty of ultimates used there from Odin's Chosen, so it's not like they didn't spend what they had to get it. Denial just are able to hold and find a little bit more value.
Bellissimo, bellissimo. The way that Wi-Fi is getting those hooks and the follow-up combination as well. At the start of this match, it was not as effective because there was no Cauterize, there was no Wrecker. But now that he can't be healed after he gets hooked, and now that he can't have that emitter be a true buffer for him, since it's getting 3,000 a pop for Wrecker, for Stolze, it is going to be very hard for him to survive that.
Scoop an Evil Eye off the top rope as well. Bodies goes down. Wardoom and Cuss are forced back into spawn, and this payload is coming down to the wire here. Denial could look to tie things up.
Wi-Fi doing a great job yet again controlling the pace. And that wall, oh, that wall. You know, I didn't like the idea of it at first when somebody started mentioning it, but now it's just seeming better and better.
Whiffle hitting huge hooks as well, continuing just to keep the man advantage in his squad's favor, and that's going to tie things up 3-3 for Odin's Chosen and Denial. Denial could just 3-0 Odin's Chosen here, you know, bringing this one back. That's just totally against what we've seen in the past from Odin's Chosen. They're pretty far out and in front of Denial in terms of the point totals today. And it means a lot going into the round robin when the games start to matter, when DreamHack Valencia is on the line.
And it means a lot in terms of this whole scene, that everything has been kind of thrown up in the balance. I don't know whether they know the qualifiers are coming up. It's getting to the next level of competition, or teams are just kind of having a hard time keeping up this insane amount of momentum that they've taken from the Masters land. Already a hook coming through. He waits patiently because the shield goes up, but then he still uses it and misses it. So they've got 5 seconds now to be able to grab one more.
30% already snagged away for Denial. Shellspin into the back line here. What? Hook's gonna miss. Strangely enough, Convergence comes down. A lot of follow-up damage just from Cuss Cutie. Ceres enough Seismic Crash comes through on the front side. King Bomb comes through on the back, but Denial are not hitting the mark.
He had to reload. He didn't have a full clip after the King Bomb. He had to go in there with enough damage, enough bombs to follow up, and he needed the second one to kill War Doom and couldn't reload fast enough. These are some very weird plays by Denial, who had this game in the bag if they just executed.
Now there comes the accursed arm, but Doseps is long gone. Hits the next roll shop completely on the other side of the map. Cassie's mobility too much. Snap headshot from Prince Danny, though.
That's what they needed there. Denial now still giving themselves a fighting chance. This is what Androxus dreams of. Double kill for him and another low health target. He's going to reversal onto Eyedrop Bodies, dash into the air. Cassie's still shooting at him.
Doseps.
And Doseps will find the kill, but Eyedrop Bodies will certainly fall here.
Carrying an insane amount of weight thus far in the Doseps. He still has so much more to do, and he gets shut down. Can't do it all by himself. Stolzy gets credited with that kill. Ancient Rage. Denial have the ultimate advantage and the capture point progress in their favor. 93%. Nobody is close enough from Odin's Chosen. Overtime is going to be started. Can we see the comeback?
Ancient Rage popped by Makoa. Wi-Fi is ready to go in. Cuskcutie gets pulled in and taken down. Get wreck spray to finish the day. And Denial is not just a river in Egypt. They're the winners of this week's championship. So that's pretty cool, man, to see them showing up over Odin's Chosen, the top team in this scene. This is just, everything is up in the air. We need to.
It's going to be.
Where's the graffiti, guys? We had the cue. Come on
this
now.
is spicy, man. This is getting really spicy here. We're seeing Swarm taking games off Denial, who just 3-0'd Odin's Chosen, all heading into the round robin. North America is looking all but secured. Pretty good damage numbers just across the board. Everybody over 70K that is supposed to be doing damage for Odin's Chosen, but War Doom taking top damage on the Barrack. Probably not ideal for them.
So interesting, too. This is the first week that Cuskcutie has taken
look at the damage numbers though from Denial. 73K was their highest by far by about 20,000, and they still took that game.
I mean, they just played well. They worked as a squad, and I think that that was important to look at. Now, remember, we talked about that third place match, Dare Rising versus Swarm. Swarm were the victors in that matchup.
Woo!
And will be moving on
Let's
into
go.
the next round of qualifiers. 2-0, they took that set. Let's take a look at the standings. Has it finished in North America? It will be Odin's Chosen, Denial,
Dare
and
Rising.
Swarm.
Well done,
with
Swarm.
5 points.
Well done.
Move ahead of Impact.
Every game matters, guys. Every game matters here. Swarm, with frankly their last 2 weeks of good performances, able to come through, qualify in the top 4. Once again, here are the EU standings in case you forgot or weren't tuned in. Snek way out in front, 360, 280 for D69. WASD with 160. Burrito Flashpoint tied, but the head-to-head, meaning every time that they met Flashpoint, were able to take the game. 2-1 was that head-to-head, if you were curious. So Flashpoint will be qualifying above Burrito in the top 4.
It's been an exciting weekend for Paladins Esports, and if the fourth week doesn't give you hope for a really exciting next couple of weeks, I don't know what will. It's been a teeter-totter of power. Everything has been changing and adjusting, and we're just excited to be along with the ride. My name's been Evan Rayner, Rain Day. Of course, this is Nick Keogh, High Res Pretty Hair. From all of us here at Alpharetta and High Res Studios, we thank you so much for watching Paladins Esports. We'll be back next weekend ready to kick off the next stage of qualifiers before DreamHack at 2 p.m., which will be a big change. So I know a lot of you have been staying up late to watch this. Thank you very much. 2 p.m. kicks it off next week. So join us there on Saturday. And as always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all in the realm.